Well, good evening, everyone. Hopefully, having a nice Saturday, the last Saturday before Christmas for those that celebrate it. My name is Mark Sugiyama from Eclectic Arts, for those who are not familiar with me. And yes, I now have the capability to do videos if you happen to catch that. And so I have a new toy to mess around with anytime that I do these live streams. And I'm really, really happy to be a part of the Fun Table session tonight. This is number 18. This is our second holiday cheer edition. And what that means is that Tony from Digital Noise Photography is going to be our designated holiday cheer coordinator, and he will be randomly putting questions in to the chat that I will put on screen so everybody can see them. And the guests and myself will decide if we want to answer them. I'll 99% of the time will answer any question that's asked of me. So I'm just going to have some fun with it. We all have drinks of choice that have some level of alcohol in it tonight. And yeah, we're just going to have some fun with this. So it's been such a crazy, tumultuous year for everybody. And I just want to have a chance to maybe get in the holiday spirit a little bit, kind of unwind, decompress. And, it's kind of crazy to think that, Christmas is next Friday. When I was seeing the doctor I've got this inner ear thing going on yesterday, I said, yeah, a week from today, it's going to be Christmas. And I was like, I had to think about it. I'm like, gosh, yeah, it really is. So, and this is live stream number 101. Yesterday was the century mark. I hit number 100 yesterday, so that was fun. And yeah, we're on 101 today. And the only thing that I have, I shouldn't say the live stream that I have coming up that is confirmed is on Tuesday. And it's going to be really early for those on the West Coast, so maybe you can catch the recorded version here on Facebook or on YouTube. Round 3 with the Soap Girls from South Africa will be at 6 a.m. And it's early because they're in South Africa, so it'll be 4 p.m. their time. And if you've seen round 1 or round 2, these have gone like 3.5 hours. And so I offered to get up even earlier. The first time I got up at 8 a.m. Then last time I got up at 7 a.m. This time it'll be 6 a.m. Shouldn't say get up because I'll be up like an hour before then just getting ready. So that's going to be on Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to that. And then what happens between now and New Year's, not really sure. My schedule is opened up, so there might see some more interviews. There may even be another fun table session next Saturday, the 26th. I haven't quite made up my mind. So just kind of playing things by ear. No pun intended, since I have this messed up here right now. But hopefully you're all doing well out there. And if you haven't had a chance to grab your drink of choice, then you can do that now. And I'm going to bring in our guests for the fun table session number 18. Let's see. My first guest has done 2 of these fun table sessions, and the first one was back for the Halloween edition back in October, and then we did another one recently with a photojournalist and also a CEO and drummer from Georgia, and she is a genre aficionado when it comes to horror films and genre films, a performance artist, has an extensive background in performance art, and so it's always been fun when she joins us. So I'm going to first bring in Sony Voodoo. If I can get this going here. There we go. Hi, Sony.
Hi, Mark. Hi, everybody there. Thank you for inviting me again.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
You know what? I'm doing all right. Things are kind of working in my favor. There's some things that need to get fixed, but they'll eventually get fixed. So yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I'm doing great too. I'm super happy. I'm really excited for holidays next week. And well, life is great. And well, cheers there.
Yeah, cheers to you, for sure.
Yeah.
And I see Tony's in the chat, and hi, Industrial Girl. No problem. 100th episode.
Hi, I miss you guys. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no. So the 100th episode will always be on my YouTube channel. I save everything on Facebook. So yeah, if you ever want to see what I did yesterday, it was a good interview with a director who also wrote a movie. So we got you connected off camera, and we have some other things that probably be talking about. So, but let's bring in the second guest, and she has also been a part of the Fun Table sessions, and she did one where we had 3 photojournalists, and I want to say that was back in October, right when the 3rd leg of the Alice tour finished. And she's an amazing photojournalist and has an extensive background not only with the photography part, but obviously with the writing part. Hi, Mom. Good to see you. I guess. And so let's bring in Christine Mitchell. Get here. Dun, dun, dun. There we go.
Hello.
Hi, Christine. How are you?
Good. Is your mom really watching?
She watches pretty much all of these.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I should message my mom.
Yeah, we get all the parents.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
They're all so proud.
My parents don't understand English, so they probably
Oh.
will, like, wondering what will we say. Yeah.
Yeah, if you see Rain City 1 in the comments ever, that's my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, so. Okay, and our third guest tonight has also been a part of the Fun Table Sessions, and he did, I want to say it was number 11, which was right before we started the third leg of the Alice Tour. He is with the Olympic Ballet Theater, so I'm going to welcome back in Carlos to complete our group here. Dun, dun, dun. And here we go, yay.
Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Thanks for having me. Pretty good. Excited to be here today.
Yeah, this is, like I mentioned pre-show, this is the local edition. We have everyone that's local to Washington State, so this is awesome.
Yes, it's cool. So we are in the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same time zone, yeah.
That always becomes interesting, yeah, when there's somebody who's over on the East Coast. Well, Tony's on the East Coast right now, our cheer coordinator, so I'll try to be respectful of that. And some people are night owls, some people aren't. And Dutch Girls down in East LA. And, well, my mom's here in Kirkland.
Oh, cool. I used to live there when I first arrived here. It was like the first place I knew, Kirkland. I love it. I wish I could live there.
Oh, cool.
Maybe in the future. Yeah, I love it. It's a really nice place.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. Yeah, I was born in Seattle, but I grew up in Kirkland, and then I moved out here to Edmonds, like in '97. So I've been out here for a while in this area.
Yeah. Oh, actually, my son was born in there. Was born in Kirkland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So were you at Evergreen Hospital then?
Yes, there. Yes.
I used to live right by it, like literally.
Yeah, me too. I used to live like really close by, probably 3 minutes driving from the Evergreen Hospital. Yeah.
Awesome. So as I always like to do with these, what is everybody drinking tonight?
So I've got Trader Joe's 2020 Vintage Spiced Ale.
Oh,
nice.
How is that?
Not too bad. You know, it's a dark ale. You do get little hints of like cinnamon, so it's got that holiday flavor to it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yesterday we were at Trader Joe's and Rowan and I were like, hey, let's check this one out. It's, you know, once in a year they have this, why not give it a shot?
Right.
And so far, so good.
All right. And then Christine, what do you got there?
It's the Icicle Brewing German Chocolate Cake Ale.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. A few years ago, I went to the Timber Festival that's put on by Artist Home. And it's over in Leavenworth, and that's where this brewery is located. And I had this beer, and I was just like, oh. So now, like, especially like this time of year, it makes me think of timber, and so I like to sip.
Nice. That beer, they have the big winter beer festival usually at the beginning of December that I usually cover for Eclectic Arts, and that particular beer from Icicle usually is a crowd winner when they vote on the top three. It's usually that one that wins the session. So
yeah, it's yummy.
I'm very familiar with that beer. Yeah, it is. And Sony, what do you got going on up there?
I have a red blend.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, Chateau Saint Michel.
Yeah, it's I think it's Oregon, from Oregon, or it's from Washington actually, from Patterson, Washington. So that's good. Yeah, I think it's the second time that I drink this, but I think I got a Cabernet, the other bottle that I had before this one, and I like it. So this is the first time that I'm trying this kind of red blend from this brand, and it's so far good.
Okay.
I like it. Recommend it, and it's like a decent price. If you want to go for it. Yeah.
Cool. I've mentioned this before on these shows that I was not a wine drinker because wine used to upset my stomach, and then
Yeah.
I started when I started covering the opera and the ballet at the McCall Hall. There's a press room, and so there's complimentary wine there during the breaks, even before the show starts, and all that kind of thing. And so sometimes one of my friends was buying the wine out in the bar area. It's like $10-12 a glass sometimes. And I said, well, if you want wine and you don't mind what it is, I don't know what they serve in the press room, but I can get you in there and you can get free wine. And so I saw her the first time she was drinking something, and I'm just watching her drinking that. I'm like, well, maybe I'll get a little bit and see if my stomach's better with it now or not. And I drank it and I said, well, I feel fine. So I started drinking wine every time I went there. And then I started getting smart, because then if you get the little sippy cups, then they can fill that up. You can take that back to your seat into the auditorium. So you could be drinking a lot.
Yeah. It's like I didn't like to drink red wine or white wine just like this. I have been doing it probably like, I don't know, recently, maybe 8 years or so.
Mhm.
But before that, I only drink it with food, like, with the steak or cheese, the white wine or whatever. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like I didn't used to like certain liquors or wines before, and I used to drink a lot of beer back in the day, or tequila, and now it's like I'm really good with pretty much anything that has alcohol on it. Including this, so why not?
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
And yeah, Christine's nodding her head too. So it's like, hey, there's some alcohol in it, and it works for me.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yes.
And I mean, free wine too. Why not?
Yeah, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That too.
it's interesting because like with the ballet, they will have just red or white wine, but then they have these kind of like designer chocolates that they have there, so you can have the chocolate with the wine. And then the opera they do the snack thing, so they'll have the cheese and the fruit and all that kind of stuff, and the crackers to go with your wine. And
Yeah.
so I miss those shows.
Me too. That's one of the things that I miss from that kind of events too. Like you can like enjoy your food and like good snacks and a couple of drinks there and.
And like we were talking about, for all of us here, just missing those events that it doesn't matter if it's a concert or, theater or what have you, it is an event. So you get to go there and you look forward to it, and you get to see people that you know, and maybe people that you don't know, and have a good time and have these experiences and these memories, and they just keep building the more that you go to them. So when they disappear, it's kind of like, well, how do I replace that? You really can't. You just have to kind of find other little pieces of things that bring you joy. So, but yeah, we'll get through this, and we're kind of seeing some level of light to the the next 6 months or so. I guess is what they're kind of timelining things to maybe start turning around the corner. And I'm just kind of seeing what's going on in the chat here. But I know our holiday cheer coordinator has probably got some amazing questions for us. So Tony, if you're ready, go ahead and put the first question into the chat, and I will put it on the screen, and we'll kind of see what you are thinking about while we're sipping on our drinks. And Industrial Girl has virtual candy for us. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Oh, I like candy.
Favorite holiday memory?
Oh, I want to go first.
Please.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's kind of like a holiday nightmare. Like at the time, it was terrifying, and I thought I was going to melt into the floor and die. But now it's like I think of it fondly. It was Christmas. I think it was 1987 or 88, and I had asked for Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction for Christmas, and my mom and dad bought it for me on CD, and CDs were new, they were cool, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I could be just as cool as my other middle school friends. And then my mom and dad are like, well, let's listen to it. And I was like, what? And I don't like the first song or the second song on that album is just full of F-bombs. And I was just like, oh heck. And my parents are pretty cool. Like I got my love of music from them. But yeah, at that point in time, I was just like, oh no, this is like the worst thing ever. Because I still am an introvert, and so it was just like, oh heck, because what is there's like Mr. Brownstone, and they talk, the MFR and all. Oh my gosh, just like drugs and sex and yeah. I mean, so yeah, you laugh now, or I do, but
Yeah,
that's the story.
I know what you're talking about because the second song is "It's So Easy." Yeah,
That's the one.
yeah,
Yeah, and it's not just "It's So Easy." It's
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of cuss words all over that song. Yeah, I remember I bought that tape from Warehouse Music, and I was not a tape person; I was an album person. But they didn't have the album, so I said, well, "I really want to hear this," so I bought the tape. And this was before like "Welcome to the Jungle," the video came out, so I kind of heard about them early on, and yeah, I love that thing, and I was so lucky that I got to see them open for the Cult before they blew up at the Paramount.
Wow.
Yeah, they opened at the Paramount when nobody knew who they were.
Oh.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, they're just raw as hell, and drunk and high and whatever else, and they just didn't care, and they just ripped it up and got off there, and the Cult were great too. So it was a really great build. That was 1987, like in August, I want to say that I saw that show. It's so weird that I can remember things like that, but like something important that I needed to know yesterday, I can't remember it all. But anybody else? And I guess according to Tony, it doesn't have to be a Christmas holiday thing. It could be any holiday. But anyone have any memory that you'd like to share?
My first Thanksgiving ever, like actually celebrating, was probably a year ago when my son asked me to bake him a turkey, and I was like, "Oh, I never make a turkey before." And I just, like ask some people how to do it, and look through Google some recipes, and I just figure out my own one, and it was really good, not to brag. So that was probably one of my favorite memories. Like, oh, it's celebrating a new holiday that I wasn't used to because I'm from Mexico and we don't celebrate Thanksgiving over there. And yeah, I have a little kid. He's 7 years old, and last year he asked me like, "Hey, what are we gonna do for Thanksgiving?" And I was like, "I don't know." And like, "Well, I want a turkey." Okay, and I made him a turkey. So that's a good memory.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did he ask for a turkey again this year?
Yes. I mean, he was expecting it. I think it's gonna be like a tradition from now, and he gets really excited about it. Like when we get it in the store, and he likes to see me like getting all the ingredients and like have this big dinner for Thanksgiving. So I think it's gonna be a tradition from now. It's good. It's good. I love
That's
it.
cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't. I think you're one up on me because I don't cook much of anything. Like my husband does it, so he makes the
Oh,
turkey and
cool.
does all that stuff. So you get the award because it's not me.
It's a big deal. It's like with the people who make holiday dinners get all my respect because it's a lot of work. It's
Yeah.
like you have to be there focusing on that and start preparing it from days before the actual day. And just be careful that not to mess up and make a lot of side things to go with it. And it's really good. It's wonderful. I love it. Something it's I think like you do probably once a year, like that big, and the reward is amazing and everything tastes good.
Yeah, I feel like making a turkey would be just so stressful, especially if you're the one hosting a Thanksgiving dinner and you have all these people expecting something great and you've never made one before. Just imagine that pressure.
It is.
But-
It is. Yeah, like you are like just looking at their faces, like just to see if they are
Did you like
like
it?
happy with it. Yeah.
they
I
doing this?
feel like if they are lying to you. No. Yeah. No, it has been good that the both times that I have been, cooking the dinner, it's really good. So I'm really satisfied with the result, and I hope to be like that good from now and the rest of the holidays that I have, that I get to celebrate with my family. So it's good.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Carlos, anything you want to add?
Yeah, nothing too crazy. As a kid, just like my brothers and I would do the 24-hour marathon of A Christmas Story. So we would watch both concurrently on PBS and TNT. So while one was on commercials, we'll switch on to the next channel and keep on watching it and just doing that back and forth, annoying my parents, but like, yeah, nothing too crazy out there.
That's cool. I used to work with somebody who loved to do the whole marathon of A Christmas Story. That was her tradition. She would be like staying in bed and just all cozy and snug with whatever thing she wanted, and just let that thing go, all day long. And I'm trying to think, even like for myself, if I stay with the holiday theme of Christmas, I've been really fortunate. I think every Christmas I've had on some level has been really good. I don't have one that I can think back, even when I was a kid, that I was like, oh, well, that one kind of sucked or something bad happened. I always look forward to that time. And we're not our family is not religious, but we still get together and kind of do the the Christmas tree and the stockings and all that kind of stuff. But this year this will actually probably be the strangest one, just because we won't be together. We'll be virtual. And we were just talking about that today, about like doing getting food and some sort of gift exchange stuff at my brother's place, because it's kind of centrally located, and then going back to our respective homes and then getting on something like this and kind of doing it that way. So it'll be different, but there's worse things in the world to have to deal with. So that's what we have to do for right now. But yeah, Christmas has always been a good time. I really didn't understand until I worked with actually a teacher who, I don't know, for me, as soon as we're getting close to winter break, just like right now, most of the students don't have school next week or the week after that. I couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait, even as a teacher. Oh my gosh, you have an early release day, and then we're going to be gone for 2 weeks. And then one of our drama teachers was really just not really happy about it. And she had some really bad memories as a child of Christmas, so she always associates Christmas with those memories. And I felt so bad, because I'm completely the opposite. I don't associate it with that at all. I think of good times and candy and maybe even a little bit of snow sometimes when we were lucky. And so it just kind of reminded me that other people have perspectives that maybe aren't the happiest of times during certain holidays. But that's, again, fortunately, that's not me. I really didn't have a good time.
That's very interesting, and because that's my case, like my childhood case. Like I have bitter memories and experiences as a kid with the family and the holidays. But I grew up and I didn't like celebrate or had that thing for celebrating the holidays. But now as a parent, it's like I see my kid getting all excited about it, and I don't want to be, like a bad parent with him, or like be bitter, or like ruin that for him. So I do my best, and like I have my Christmas tree now, and I start doing things that I wasn't used to it. And before having him, like there was some holidays I was totally alone in my apartment before having him. So it was sometimes I used to go on with friends and celebrate with their families, but not with my own. So yeah, it's good, and I just try not to leave or revive those bad memories. Like, what's the case? I mean, it's already passed. So, and if I have to do, the opportunity to do something cool right now, like, why not? It's like, it's fun. Holidays are fun. I used to hate it, and I used to be like, I hate that, because I had that bitter experience. But now it's like, oh, it's actually cool. Like, I see my kid all excited, and for Santa and the gifts and all that, and it's really rewarding. Like, oh, it's cool. Like he gets to have those experiences, like really good, and probably when he grows up, he's gonna have like cool memories about it. So
no, that's awesome.
That's my case.
Yeah, I know at some point, even like probably when I first started teaching that, as I became an adult, that kind of the luster of Christmas kind of wore off. But then when you're around kids and seeing them get so excited about it, and it doesn't have to be your own kids, it's anybody's kids, it kind of helps you feel back into that kind of spirit of what the season is like. Kids definitely help with that.
Oh yeah. Now it's like we are all about all the holidays that exist. We celebrate them all year. Yeah, it's fun.
Cool. And Tony, I'm seeing what you had written a little while ago, and yeah, that's well, one, I mean, I'm very sorry, that you lost your mom at that time, but I also completely understand, the whole family was there, so that particular Christmas was so special and to you. I've got a friend that had lost his father on Christmas Day, and that was pretty obviously rough, and he's probably kind of having certain things. It's like what we're talking about, kind of associated with this holiday coming up happen. But he also has kids, and so he knows he's there for his kids, and kind of moving on from there. So yeah, so it comes down to people's experiences and also that perspective. Oh, looks like we lost Carlos for a little bit. Oh no.
Oh.
Well, we'll see if he comes back in. But
Yeah.
Thanks for the question, Tony. That was a good thing to start off with. And
It is.
yeah, and so I mean, Christine, do you guys have any kind of, well, not this year, but pre-pandemic? Is it like just your immediate family that you do things for the holidays? Do you have extended folks come in?
Yeah, I usually both sides of my family are pretty big. My dad's one of 10 kids, and so when I was younger, we used to get together. But now there's just like I have like more than 50 first cousins, so it just gets it's like out of hand. We can't really get together anymore. Um, so my mom is one of 5, and my grandma at some point, they had a house custom built with like a living room that's big enough that they can like put 3 or 4 tables end to end, and we all sit around, and yeah, all the little cousins. My kids are the oldest, and I was the oldest out of my age generation. So we always had fun. We get presents for all the little kids, and they go around and open them up, and it's just like very loud, very gregarious, and everybody brings tons of food. And yeah, so it's kind of a bummer to miss out on that this year, but it's okay. Again, I mean, my grandma's 90 years old, so there's like it's just not really a great idea to get together with her right now. But yeah, looking forward to hopefully maybe in the spring. I don't know. I'm just gonna like be dragging around a big bag of presents with me or something, and hand stuff out and hug everybody. And yeah, we're used to a lot of people at Christmas, so it's different. But there's 5 of us here at home, so.
Right.
So are you planning on going online and have some kind of online holiday at least?
Yeah, actually, we're gonna do what's it called? Oh, the Zoom. We're gonna Zoom with my my husband's sister lives in Arizona and has 3 kids, and so they're basically the only cousins my kids have, and so we're gonna definitely get together over Zoom and compare notes or whatever. I guess usually every other year we would go down there to Phoenix and hang out with them after Christmas for a while, but it's not happening this year, so we're Zooming it this year. But yeah, that'll be fun.
Cool. Yeah, we were just talking about. I remember on Thanksgiving that Zoom lifted their limit, the 40 minutes for people if you had multiple people. And some people already have a paid account, so they don't care. But for those that don't, I didn't know if they're doing that for Christmas Day as well. Has anybody heard anything about that?
No, I have not.
No.
Okay. Maybe they're just doing it for Thanksgiving, or maybe it'll be announced soon. I don't know. Maybe they're just going to be Grinches.
I noticed. I mean, I am not sure how it's here because I don't know like any other big families here. So I want to ask you guys here in the States, which holiday is usually more like like bigger for you guys, like Thanksgiving or Christmas? Like which one is more important for you and for your families to be there?
I don't know. Thanks. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have noticed that Thanksgiving, like usually people make a big deal for getting together in Thanksgiving, like visiting their families and actually be there. That is a big deal. But I haven't noticed that much of a hurry or hype for Christmas. But maybe I am wrong. It's just my perception of it.
But yeah, like going back to what you were saying, Sunny, like my family never really celebrated Thanksgiving. My mom is a
Oh,
server, so she always worked, and we're
oh,
also
okay.
Mexican and Nicaraguan, so we didn't have turkey. We would have tamales, and
Yeah.
so it wasn't really a
Um,
big thing for us. But Christmas was normally the day that everyone was together, and yeah, we just spent it together as a family, and I really like that.
yeah, it's fun.
Aside
It's nice.
aside from getting the gifts too, but
Yes, yeah, I'm Mexican. So in Mexico, we don't have Thanksgiving. So Christmas is obviously a big thing for families that are really close, like to be there for Christmas. It's really important. And usually you get people, mad, especially people that are married or something like they are like, we need to go with my mom, not with mine. And like they have this sort of conflict, like which family is gonna be the choose one for the Christmas night. So we do like also like a big thing, or usually gather with family in New Year's. So
Yeah, yeah, I think, um, yeah, usually Thanksgiving we kind of swap between families because um, both my husband and my side of the families they live up here, so we kind of have to choose. But Christmas Eve is kind of like unspoken that we always go to my
uh,
grandma's house, um, and so that's kind of yeah. And I think
uh,
Christmas is kind of huge because we have a lot of fun. Like I said, giving gifts to the kids, and we would do like white elephant gifts for aunts and uncles and all the older people, and have a fun game passing those around with the dice and everything. And yeah, have some wine and enjoy each other. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna, and for me, at least most of the time, it was kind of a toss up between Thanksgiving and Christmas in terms of which one was more popular with our family because Thanksgiving was spent with my mom's side of the family with my grandfather and my uncle, aunt, cousins, and then like Christmas Eve would be with my dad's side. So on Christmas Day, it was just the immediate family, but there's also my mom's extended family before Christmas that sometimes we would get together for a dinner or a lunch. So both holidays we see a lot of family pretty much. As the years have kind of gone on, Thanksgiving has become just the immediate family in the last couple of years, and then Christmas Day still is the immediate family if my brother and sister-in-law are here because they do the flip-flop thing. So every other year, because she's from Arizona, they go down to Arizona for
uh,
her family. So this year they're supposed to be down there, but obviously they're going to be stuck up here. So next year, if things are good again, they'll probably go down there. So then it'll just be my parents and myself here. So sometimes there's a what I call a buffer, and sometimes there's not on Christmas Day. Yeah, I think at least for me, when Thanksgiving was coming, I knew Christmas was right next to it, and they were just kind of even. I didn't really look at one being more popular or populated than the other.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
it's
thanks
happening
Tony for
again.
yeah, thanks
Yeah,
Tony for putting that in.
I don't
That
know why.
yeah, I mean just curious about it. Yeah, like I'm all family is in Mexico, and so I don't have anyone to go and have the holiday. Like my sister, that she has her own family now, and she makes like a celebration with her husband, family, and with their kids. So I wish I could be there with them, but it's
hmm
now with the pandemic, it's not a good idea.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Okay.
are in lockdown now down there, so it won't be fun either.
Yeah. No. And Carlos, are you okay or no or okay? Just want to make sure. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first time my Wi-Fi's been acting up. I don't know if it's the fact that just everyone's at home right now, and because
Mm.
we just recently got Xfinity too, so it's weird that it's been
Yeah,
acting up. I know Rowan was on the call last week and it was fine. So
hmm
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I always have troubles with it when I do the session with more people here because the time that I use it just with me and Mark, it worked good. But the wireless connection, if you don't have the cable plugged there, it will give you a little bit of trouble.
You know what's crazy about this? What Sony's talking about is that when we did her one-on-one interview, I was still having those problems, those audio problems, and the time that I did her interview, was the exception, where the audio was fine on my end. So, and it worked for her. But then, yeah, when she's been a part of groups, we've had connection issues. And now, at least again for me, everything's been fine, knock on wood. But now we have Carlos having some potential connection issues. So hopefully that kind of figures itself out. Yeah, it's so I mean, are people like, so Carlos, do you have a chunk of time off? You only have certain days during the holidays from like work and that kind of stuff, or?
So even with like how things have been because of the mandate, like my hours at work have been cut. So I've been having a lot of free time now. And then with school finally over in quotation marks, yeah, I have a lot of free time now. So I've been playing Rocksmith every single day.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I have a lot of free time right now, which is scary too, because I don't have that much work as I wish I could. And at the point that I am planning on going back to my old job, well, trying here, because that's another thing that I am figuring out. Like, I used to be a veterinarian when I was in Mexico, so I will try to validate that license to start working here as a pet doctor. Let's see how that goes. I mean, I have been doing research online, and it's not that easy, but it can be done, but it will take time. So hopefully, yeah, that's one of the things that I have been thinking, because, as an artist, or all the art spaces and performing things are really slow right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a scary time for an artist right now. I mean, I think it's good and bad. In a good way, it gives us time to reflect on ourselves and probably work on other aspects that we're not used to.
Is that me again?
That's what I'm wondering. I said, whose sound is that?
Yeah, I thought I muted my mic, but you know what? I did the call thing. Yeah, I have a kid getting chips again, and we had like a whole. I was like, "Let's make a signal," and they came up and waved, and I was like, "Okay," and then I pushed the wrong button, so I'm not muting. So
That's okay.
I will mute myself now.
Yeah, wasn't it last time they were getting Cheez-Its or something, I think? And
that happens sometimes.
It's all good. It's when we can't figure out where the noise is coming from that I get concerned.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was my mic. I was like, it's so quiet over here, but is it me? Is it just feedback?
Yeah, and then I'm seeing the Industrial Girl. You're talking about the gangs and holidays.
I know.
They shoot their guns and stuff or something. I'm not familiar with with that. Just to make noise. Like on 4th of July when people shoot their guns and stuff and being stupid.
Oh wow.
At my parents' house, like on New Year's and stuff, they shoot off dynamite. There's because they live off in Granite Falls, and so they just light off sticks of dynamite because apparently that's awesome.
Go big or go home, right?
Right. Yeah. No M80s or anything. Just stick a dynamite.
Yeah. Blow yourself up. and your neighbor's neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Police standoff. Oh.
Police standoff. Holy shit. That's awful.
Wow.
Yeah, take care over there.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Don't go out.
I mean, I live on a dead end, and we have our share of transients and like meth problems, but we don't have like violent problems in terms of this kind of stuff that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here. It's like, I mean, I hear sometimes things going on. Like, I live very close by to a police station, and like, I don't know, 3 months ago or so, they had a bomb. Somebody placed a bomb there outside, and it was like, if that thing explodes, how big is it gonna be? I am safe or not? Fortunately, it didn't detonate, but it's really scary. Like, it's apparently a quiet neighborhood, but you never know. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's
scary.
Well, yeah, and I was telling, I know at least Christine pre-show that I had switched my my graveyard shift job as of yesterday. So my schedule coming up was that I was actually going to be working Christmas Eve night, Christmas Day night, New Year's
Oh
Eve.
no.
Yeah, because I was the new guy, so they were going to put me on all the shitty shifts.
Yeah, of course.
So, knock on wood, the fact that I managed to change things for what starts in the new year, now it's freed that up, so I can actually maybe enjoy
Yeah.
those holidays. So I am happy about that aspect of it. That's a nice silver lining.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, it sucks being the new person in, because you do get all the shitty shifts.
That's what I found out. I mean, I'm actually
Yeah.
pretty new to working hourly jobs or having shifts and that kind of stuff. It's usually been salaried positions, but you would think that if a company was smart, they wouldn't do that to you, because that's going to drive you right out. If they give you all the nasty ones, you're like, well, I don't want to do this. Or I can understand if you have to share some of the bad ones. I mean, that's going to happen. But if they put all of them on you, it's like,
Yeah.
And probably they take advantage that that is you should be grateful for your job or things like that in this time.
Yeah, there's nothing
that is happening.
You haven't accrued anything, so you can't ask for a holiday off or anything like that. You just get stuck with whatever they give you. So, but I don't have to deal with that anymore. So
that's one of the things that I don't miss about being, like working in a corporate or anything like that, or in a work. It's one of the things that I don't miss. I have to work on holidays or certain shifts that I don't like. But like I have been thinking that probably will have to get back to it.
Yeah, you do what you have to do. What you have to do. I mean, that's the position.
Yeah.
You got to make ends meet on some level. And
Exactly.
if I could just be a multimillionaire and not do anything, that'd be wonderful. But that's not reality. So yeah. I used to tell my students, be happy for anyone doing anything legitimate. And
yeah,
doesn't matter what your station in life is, as long as they're doing something that's contributing, then be happy for them. And it takes a while for some people to understand that. Even for myself, if you're maybe looking down on someone's position of what they do, it's like, no, they're paying taxes and they're making a salary and they're doing whatever they need to do to feed themselves or their family or what have you. So kind of check yourself, basically.
Well, I think that, like, especially for creative people, a lot of times you're expending a lot of energy doing your creative side of things, which isn't always necessarily going to be something that's going to pay a lot. But I feel like it's such a huge contribution, and then you kind of have to supplement with a job that's maybe less demanding, so that you can focus your energies. And I really, really, really respect that, and I really believe that artists should be paid for what they do, but like I just said, that's not always the case. So yeah, I think that any kind of contribution, and any kind of job, I mean, it's work, and it's not necessarily your creative outlet. But I guess everybody has to pay the rent, because that's the way things are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why, even when I've been doing these virtual interviews, a lot of times I ask the same question about advice they would give to somebody else who wants to be an actor, someone who wants to be a musician, or that kind of thing. Like, what did you do to make the jump? And maybe they haven't made the jump. Maybe they're still doing both ends of the creative part and then the pay the bills part. But the ones that have found a way to make that jump and stay there, it's like, yeah, what did you do and how did you do it? And I love hearing that kind of thing, because it just kind of reinforces like you can get there eventually, and just know that it's not easy. And those people are struggling too, especially during this year, finding out these people that just, everything that they used to do to make a living is gone. So most of them had to find a side hustle of something.
Yeah, this year has been really hard, especially for us that depend most of the time of live shows, like that kind of events, big events. So it's hard, sad, and you name it.
I know. Even now, I was even thinking, like, is this the end for me as a dancer? Like, is this because of what's happening? Like, do I have to now get like a job and forget about like all my artists, because like I do have to pay bills? Like, what happens? And we don't have that luxury.
Situation. I am in the same situation. Give me a hug.
Right?
Yeah, and I am a dancer too, so I totally get it. It's, Yeah.
Like even retail was the option back then, but now it's just okay. They've cut people. The restaurants gone. Like you can't. Those side hustles that we used to have are now even more limited than what they used to be.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because I'm right in that same boat in terms of trying to keep myself afloat. So I've been out there applying for things and kind of seeing what's there. And yeah, the things that used to be there aren't around, or the competition's a lot higher because there's other people looking for the exact same thing.
Yeah,
So
that too.
yeah, I'm fortunate that with some of my background, I've been able to kind of find something that I can still do that. Again, knock on wood, will make ends meet and not kill me in the process. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But yeah, this has been a really good conversation right off of that first question. And our holiday cheer coordinator, if you're ready for question number 2, whatever you got up your sleeve for us, if you want to put that in the chat, Tony, that'd be awesome. Wow, that was quick. There it is. Present. That's hard.
Present. It is hard.
I'm thinking.
Me too. It's like, for me, it's hard because all the Christmas gifts that I had were, as an adult, not as a kid. So I don't have anything that, that I was expecting with Illusion, or, like there were gifts that, somebody gave me, but that I was expecting them. It's not probably the same, or the same. I mean, it doesn't mean that I am not grateful or that I didn't appreciate those gifts at the time. But I mean, I love them, and when I get a gift from somebody, I really appreciate it and thank it, and use them or wear it, or you name it. But in this context, like for example, I see my kid like expecting a special gift from Christmas, and when he gets it, he gets really excited. So I don't think in anything in particular like that. So yeah, I don't know what to answer on that one.
yeah, it's a difficult one. I feel like I've always been very grateful for what people give to me. Like
Yeah.
just because like there is a lot of thought and effort that goes behind gifting. So I mean, I've never been like, oh, I can't believe they gave me this cheap wallet or whatever it is people hate, or these pair of socks. I don't know, but I've always enjoyed it. I mean, I think a gift is a gift, and it's awesome that someone else is thinking about you and wanting to share that experience with you.
And make the effort and go and look for the gift and things like that. There is this thing in Mexico, like especially when co-workers, or like I remember that in my past jobs that I had there, when they do a gift exchange, but they set a price. And before that, it was like, okay, you didn't know what to expect. But lately, in the last years that I was working, I remember, like, they say, like, okay, we're going to give something. This is the amount that you have to spend on the gift. And they were asking you for 3 options. Like, what do you want to get? And I was like, why am going to give you 3 options? Like, I am going to know that I'm going to get one of these 3 options that I am giving you. And like, oh, because you cannot go wrong that way. And then I was like, oh, well, I don't want to, participate in this thing because it's not going to be a surprise. It's ridiculous. In that case, I will just go and get it myself, But that was to avoid disappointment. And I was like, well, I think that's the magic of it, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I was like, I don't want to be part of it. I told them, like, I don't want to be part of this because it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I have to get this person one of these 3 options, so this person knows that it's gonna get one of these 3. So
Yeah,
I know. Even Rowan's been asking me. She's like, "Oh yeah, my family wants to know what should we get you," and I'm like, "I don't know. there's nothing I can think of that I need. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
this year I think we've been we asked for like gift cards to local businesses and stuff that we want to keep going, like our favorite places to eat or shop at, that aren't like big chain stuff. Because yeah, it's like we don't really need anything. I wear like the same 4 t-shirts like in rotation. I wear like the same 2 pairs of pants. Like I don't need clothes anymore. I don't need anything. Or just sitting here at home. But at some point, I want to be able to go and eat. I guess we're doing takeout. But as far as like a favorite Christmas gift, I don't know if I have like a favorite gift, but I like it when my husband surprises me. And a long time ago, for one Christmas, I opened up a package and it had an Etch-a-Sketch in it, and I was like, "What in the blue blazes did you get me an Etch-a-Sketch for?" And then it was like the first year they had an iPad, so you ended up getting, it was an iPad underneath it, and so that's like a good memory of a Christmas present. I mean, it was just an iPad, but it was just cool. I liked it, but I just like the when it's fun. So I
Yeah,
was
me
just like,
too. I
yeah,
love that when it's a surprise and it's like something that I really wanted and that person knew it, or something that I like and enjoy that person thought of me to get it, like a CD or a comic book or a book or a movie or something like that. And it doesn't have to be anything expensive or fancy. But yeah,
hmm
it's
yeah,
like Carlos mentioned before, like the effort that person puts in giving you something and see your reaction, all that. I think that's priceless. And
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
it makes the best gift.
hmm
Cool. And I'm just seeing like an industrial girl talking about when she got her PS4, and the former student gave her the other half of a best friend's necklace. And Tony, girlfriend gave you a double cut Les Paul Jr. Good grief.
What?
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No wonder you're still together. I would be too. And like what Christine was saying with her husband's gift, our family used to do that where we would try to like disguise what was inside the box. So we would actually maybe throw like nails or some kind of noise thing into it, or wrap something really small in a really big box. So you really didn't know what the hell it was, and that was always kind of fun. But I can't remember anything specific because there's been again almost every year there's either something that I need or something that I wanted, and so I can't think of anything specific that. Even trying to think, did I ever give anything that I was like really like, oh, I can't wait till they open it? And I said, I can't really think of that either.
I normally treat myself with a gift every year for the holidays. So I know what I'm going to get because I get it myself. But so all the gifts are my favorites, like the ones that I get myself. And I really love when somebody gives me things. It's something that I really appreciate and treasure. And I don't think of anything that I haven't used or worn or still have. When somebody gives me something, I really appreciate it, and I never, give it away or get rid of it. Or like that.
Oh, I just thought of a really cool gift that I was given a few years ago. So I collect, which way? Okay, 45s. And a few years back, my father-in-law gave me this box, and it was full of old 45s. And it was so awesome because it was all like 45s from the 50s that his brother had gotten, and some of them were his, but they were ones, a lot of them, they lived down in Long Beach, and so they would call into the local radio station, and he would, my father-in-law's brother would just like, he won like several times at this radio show, and they would send like the top 10 45s of that week. And so it's just like all these really old cool like Everly Brothers, and what's really cool is some of them are kind of unknown. They were like number 8 or number 7, and then they would drop off the list. And so there's a lot of really obscure stuff. But I just thought that present was so thoughtful, and it made me cry because it was just so personal. And he knows that I enjoy discovering music, and still kind of like it was just a really nice, thoughtful present with a great story.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
and like they say that a lot of times, if you remember those little details about somebody for Christmas, birthday, what have you, it doesn't have to have a monetary value. It could just be that the fact that you thought that way to, like in this case, that you love music and vinyl and 45s, and that there's a different level of thought put into that and caring into that gift. And that always makes it extra special when you do that. And I'm thinking back to somebody that had, had mentioned to me that, what she liked on pizza. And so the first time I was around her and we decided to order one, I knew exactly what she wanted. So I didn't even have to ask her. I just was on the phone. She overheard me say, I want this topping and this topping. And she just kind of broke down right then and there. And I'm kind of like, yeah, I heard what you said the first time. So that's why I'm getting, your favorite pizza from the favorite place with the right toppings and that kind of thing. And it's those little details. It means all the difference sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, well, it's not exactly like a material gift, but I have this beautiful memory of my friend who invited me over for the holidays to spend with her family, and it was his grandma, her aunt, and her parents there, and it was really beautiful because they made like really a really nice dinner, and they had me over. I was the only strange person. And I went to Mexico City just to be with them, and I think it was a really cool detail. And for me, that was a really nice gift, and it still is. I have the memory of it. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was probably that would probably go in the question that before, like, what is your favorite holiday memory? Well, that one is in my favorite holiday memories too. It's not a materialistic gift, but the fact that somebody thinks about you and wants to share what they have with you, I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I see you got your kitty with you.
I love
Yeah.
cats. I
Oh,
love
me
cats.
too. I have two, but he is very close to me. He wants, to be all the time with me.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you.
Tony, I was just curious, what long sleeve are you wearing? What's on that shirt?
Oh, it's from Rotting Christ.
Oh, okay, from Greece.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just saw the kind of weird looking writing, so I think it must be like a black metal band or.
Yeah, I got it when the last time that I saw them here. Yeah, I think I got this one the last time I saw them here. They were supposed to play earlier this year, and they returned all the tickets. I mean, they canceled the tour.
Yeah,
So
weren't they supposed to be at El Corazon, I think?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, with Borgnegar and
Yep.
a couple other bands. I was really excited about it because I really wanted to see Borgnegar and Rotting Christ again. I love those two bands. Yeah, heartbroken.
I just did this quick turn to my left, and I got startled because I saw it.
Snoopy.
Snoopy there.
It's normally against the wall, and I had to move it up so he could actually kind of be seen, and that's why I was like, what is that? and I've only had one beer, so I was like, oh my god.
I know.
Oh man.
Oh,
Like, what is
Marker. Sonny, do you know? So is El Corazon closing down for sure? Are they building apartments, or what's happening with?
I was just wondering that myself.
Last time I hear they were still like asking for support for the employees they have because they have been closed pretty much all the time. I am not sure if they are still doing this, but I saw this. Even like a month ago, they were still like asking for relief funds to help their employees and donations. But then I hear rumors that they were closing it, so I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen anything besides that.
Well, I thought that they were going to be building a new building, and the El Corazon would still be located there, but in a new space in the new building. But I wonder what the haps are with around all of that as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. I had there is a guy that does a lot of tour bus driving for bands, and so he knew El Corazon and Crocodile and some other venues around. He said, Mark, what's going on with your venues? And with El Corazon in particular, I heard the exact same thing that Christine just said, that it was supposed to be like they're going to be rebuilding it, and they're going to be at the bottom of this new complex because of all the gentrification that's going on in that whole area, really. And but that's before the pandemic hit. And I'm not in contact with John, who's the manager there. He's not the owner, but he's the one that kind of runs the shows day to day when they were happening. And the gist I got from him, and don't quote me on this, was that I think it's gone. They're still trying to get the money now to help their employees and all that kind of stuff. But because of this pandemic hitting, it really botched up their plans. And so I don't think they have a way to recover from that to actually do what they wanted to do. So I think the owner's probably going to end up selling that spot to something else to develop, and there won't be another club there. But I hope I'm wrong. But that was kind of the under the table scuttlebutt as of maybe 4 months ago.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is sad, but I think like a lot of venues have that situation right now.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't been able to book anything, so it's really, really sad.
Yeah.
It's just Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say that like venues like the El Corazon, I mean, that has a long, I mean, that's a storied venue. It used to be the off ramp and in Graceland, and so many bands and history's been there. And same thing with the Crocodile. And thankfully, there's still going to be a Crocodile, but the original building's done. It's just so weird to me. I mean, I've seen lots of venues come and go, but it's going to be an odd time these next couple of years, seeing how everything is reshuffled and what comes back and what doesn't.
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's the same thing that the tour bus driver mentioned. He said, well, Mark, there's been so many historic bands, there's any way they can kind of get some sort of status for it? And I'm like, I don't really know. I don't know, the history to that extent and that kind of thing. I said, we're already kind of dealing with that with the Showbox in terms of trying to, preserve that and not have that, go by the development side of things. But we do know that much, that whenever things get back to where like a band can actually tour, it's not going to look the same in terms of what's available around here locally. There's going to be some casualties. There has to be, unfortunately. But it's going to really stuck on in that particular venue's case, because if you like metal or punk or even rockabilly, psychobilly kind of stuff, we already lost Studio 7 a couple years ago, which had all that kind of stuff. And now if we lose that one, those level of bands, they have nowhere to play here.
Yeah.
There's just no one that's going to book them. You might get the stray, like I know Cannibal Corpse was at Numos once, and I think Power Trip was there, and some of these other, heavier bands, but that's not normal. And so, if that goes, it's going to suck, especially for myself being a metal guy, that I don't know where I'm going to see these bands, down in Portland, if they have venues, or you got to go up to Vancouver. I don't know. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but I think there's going to be some that are going to permanently close their doors.
Well, even Tony V's in Everett is closed. Like, it's gone. And that was another venue that had a lot of metal bands run through. Yep,
and Louis G's down south, kind of the same size place. So that's right. There's God, I didn't even think about it. There's already those two, and it's gonna be rough. And like I'm seeing, Tony saying the same thing in Pittsburgh. Very sad that we're losing those type of venues. And it's like, what are you going to do? I mean, initially they can kind of maybe hang in there, maybe get a grant or something that's small, but that's been going on for so long. And we're not like other countries where maybe they're putting money into the arts. Our country is just kind of like letting them fend for themselves for the most part, and that doesn't work. So
I think it's gonna be hard, like for the people who book the bands, like the representatives and all that, people who book the band, and also get a venue and the space owners and all that, and for the bands too. I think it's gonna be hard when they give the free pass to start over again with live shows and all that. I think it's gonna be hard, like to figure out where you are gonna do the show or the event, and how many people can get in, and how much it's gonna cost you to bring a band. It's a lot of things to see. It's gonna be hard.
There's a lot of factors, and that same conversation happened too, that if we don't have any kind of uniformity, let's say in the U.S., bands rely on that constant stream of hitting shows. They can't do like, we can play Washington, but we can't play Oregon because of restrictions. We can play Northern California, but we can't play Southern. That doesn't work at all. So it's got to be kind of an all or nothing for the most part in terms of what's available, what's open, how many people can you get in the venue, and keeping the money up and rolling in. Otherwise, it's just not. They're going to be just losing it left and right. And like you were saying, Sony, if you're a booker, if you're some an agent and the other kind of thing, maybe they don't even have the funds to do it. There's too much risk. I know, like Live Nation was talking about, they're going to put more risk on the artists now. They're covering themselves. And so the guarantees that maybe a large stadium-sized band used to get, now they're going to make them take more of a risk. If you only sell at half of that stadium, then you're going to lose that money. So it's rough all over.
It is.
Let's try to open this thing.
You can do it. You can do it. Yeah.
Is that number 2?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, this is a Black Butte Porter. Good old standby.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yummy. Porters
Yeah.
are one of my favorite beers.
Nice.
I'm gonna go get my second one.
Good choice. Good choice.
We're representing Deschutes because I had Deschutes as
So-
my first beer, and now you're having it then. So okay, all you Oregon people.
I have a question for Industrial Girl and Tony and your mom. Like, if they are drinking something.
My mom doesn't drink alcohol
Oh, okay.
at all. But that's a good question about Tony. I don't know if he's
Yeah,
drinking.
for Tony and Industrial Girl.
That's
like,
really-
they are drinking something.
Yeah. it's good.
Industrial Girl mentioned that he had candy or something like that, but I am asking if she's drinking something. And Tony, what are you guys drinking? I don't drink anymore. Yeah.
So Tony doesn't drink, and my mom would have like a little bit of wine like at Thanksgiving, but that would just that kind of thing. So normally she doesn't. My dad would have that's occasional beer, and then my brother used to drink beer, but
Water.
I don't think he drinks anything, and I drink
Water.
I
I
drink
always have water with me. I always have to keep myself hydrated.
Mhm.
And like I used to drink a lot back in the day. Like all those wild days are back behind. But I still like. I love alcohol. I love the taste. I love it. I love it.
back
Like I moderate myself. Back in the day, I'm talking about my 20s, mid-20s. I used to drink like a lot. I used to drink probably from Wednesday through Sunday. So I used to be like a really heavy wine drinker. Every time that I finish my work, we had a bar in the same. I used to work in a mall when I was very young. Like I was like 18 or 19, barely legal drinking. In Mexico, the legal age for drinking is 18. So I used to go every time like we finish our work. We used to go to that bar and get a few drinks daily. So yeah, that was the old me. Right now it's like I don't go that wild anymore. It's very rare when I go like really really drunk. Normally try to moderate myself, and if I do more drinks that I should, I try to be at home when I am safe, that I know if I get unconscious and my bed is right here. That kind of thing. I am a responsible drunk now.
That's true. I know, we're all at home right now, so you can have
Yeah.
at it.
Yes. Yeah, what is the thing too? It's like I don't know. Probably this happens to every person who is more than 30 years old, because that's my case. I am like I don't handle the hangovers like before, so it's really painful to have a horrible hangover for me. That I can't do that. It's like if I get really really drunk, then it's like the next 2 days I'm gonna be totally like in bed, and I have things to do. I have a kid, so I cannot do that anymore.
Yeah, that's true. You have responsibilities. That's true.
Yes, I am a responsible drunk now.
And Carlos, what'd you come back with?
So I ended up buying this one. Rowan said you liked it.
I did.
Jolly Roger.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty good.
Next week I'm gonna try to find the holiday Mexican beer. I saw it here last year and I got one, and I really miss it. Because I remember in Mexico I had it every year, And last year it was the first time that I saw it here, and I was so excited. So I hope to find it this year again in the Mexican store. I will go and find a case of 6 beer, like the holiday Mexican modelo.
What is it? What is it called?
Noche Buena.
Noche Buena. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Miss Modelo?
Yeah, it's from the Modelo. I think it's Modelo.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think it's from Cervecería Cuauhtémoc or Modelo beer. If you excuse me, let me go to Google and find it really quick.
Okay.
But it's like a special edition that they only make on Christmas. Noche Buena beer.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah, it's from Modelo. It's from
Okay.
yeah, it's really good. Oh my god, it's this one. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, it's got a poinsettia. Okay.
Yes, it has a. That's what it means. The poinsettia in Spanish means Noche Buena.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I recommend that beer.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, Carlos, that last week Rowan had the Magnum of Anchor's Our Christmas Ale, which is my favorite Christmas beer.
Okay.
And then the Jolly Roger, that was not only my first kind of holiday beer that I really liked, but it was my segue to eventually hops, which is really weird because that beer is not hoppy, but at the time it was kind of hoppy to me because I was not into hops at all. So I remember I was God, was that when I was shooting that wedding down in Oregon? I just remember I came back after the New Year's and I was trying to find more of it. Most of the places had already either shipped it back or whatever because the holidays were done. And then I found like a 6-pack, I think at the Central Market in Shoreline or something. And I just kept drinking it, and it started getting good to me. And the next thing I know, I'm trying to drink pails, and I'm starting to drink IPAs and all this other kind of stuff. So
I know.
that's what I think of that beer. That beer was the gateway for me to get to hops.
I have that problem too. Like I start drinking 1, 2. If I pass 3, oh. But I try not to accept 12. That's probably my limit.
Yeah, I was actually really excited when we saw that Anchor Steam one, just because it's from San Francisco. The brewery was actually a few blocks away from where I grew up in the city.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, we got to get this one. Not only is it cheap, but it's a huge bottle. So let's get this one. But for me, hop wise, I'm still trying to get into the whole IPA thing because it's still a lot for me. The hop, I'm still just like
I don't like hoppy beers.
No, I'm definitely a dark beer kind of person, and my husband kind of went through the IPAs and everything, but now he's kind of backed off, and now he's on Belgians. He loves the Belgians. Yeah, I think his favorite is Franziskaner.
That's good.
The Weiss beer.
Yeah.
I think I can say no to any kind of beers. I like hoppies. I like darks are probably my favorite, my top favorite. But I really like IPAs, and I do like Belgians too, and Germany, and like all beer.
I was gonna say, that's what I miss about concerts. Like you could buy shitty beer and nobody judges you because you're at a concert and you can have a PBR and like. Just for the experience, you have like.
I had a really horrible hangover was with PBR.
No.
The question is, how much PBR did you have?
If I am not, like mistaken, I think they were like probably 8 PBRs. I was dying like the next day, like really dying. Yeah.
Wow.
But I had like 3 other brands before them, and then I was like, okay, I only have like this kind of money left. I can get like 3 good beers or 8 PBRs. Guess what I choose.
Yeah, when you're at a concert, you got to be strategic about it. Like, you get the Rainiers, you get the PBRs because they're so cheap.
They were so cheap, exactly. And I was having so much fun. And I was like inviting beers to a friend that I was with me. So I was like, okay, let's go to PBRs. And we both ended up like really bad. Like she told me, I'm dying today. How are you doing? I was like, I'm dying too, don't worry. So
I've definitely been there. Yeah, when you're at the concerts, and you're trying to be strategic. You're saying, like, how much money do I have on my card, or what can I do? And yeah, do I want to stretch this out or just go for the good stuff? I'm going to stretch this out. Get 3 or 4. Yeah. And Christina will appreciate this. I actually had to do this last New Year's Eve at the Thunder Pussy show. That I was like, I want to make sure I have some sort of alcohol with me in the pit. So when it hits midnight, I actually have alcohol with me. And I'm like, but I had limited funds. So like I had already had 1 beer. So I think what I ended up doing was actually getting like a can of Guinness to drink a little bit. And then I had it with me for shooting the band and all that stuff. And then when they did the countdown, I had something to go.
Oh man, I just totally chubbed mine before I went in the pit.
Oh, I want a Guinness now. Like I haven't had a Guinness in a long time, and they are so yummy.
But I'm drinking right now. So
oh, I will
the
get
heart.
some. I need to get some before the end of the year.
For a while, I had a thing where like I couldn't just drink a Guinness, but I had to put some Kahlua in it. It was so good.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Oh, it's really tasty.
Yes, Guinness for me is one of those beers that you have 1 or 2, but not to get drunk with it. Like I don't want to get drunk with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more for enjoying it. Like 2 or 3. That's it.
Yeah.
Not to like.
Right.
If you get too drunk with those, it's not fun.
You can brag about it. Like I'm drinking a healthy beer. You know, it's only low on calories. All the antioxidants.
It gets you feel like too bloated or too. It's too heavy for too drunk.
Oh
a car bomb. It's so delicious.
Okay, remind me what a car bomb is.
So it's Bailey's, Guinness, and Irish whiskey.
Okay, that sounds good.
I need to try that. I like all those things.
I don't know about the name. I mean, I get the reference, but wow, car bomb.
Although it's like one of those things when you go to a Irish pub, you're like, oh, can I say I want an Irish car bomb? Like, are they gonna judge me? And
yeah, wow, okay.
but it's delicious. It's like chocolate milk.
Yeah, it sounds great.
It sounds really good.
I think it will be.
Sorry. I was saying you have to drink it quickly because it curdles if you don't drink it quickly.
Oh, because the milky liquor.
Yeah.
I think that will be good to pour it into a shot of espresso coffee in the morning and get. We'll have to go through the day or something like that.
You know what I just thought of? Sony, you were a part of that whole fun table session with Mike and Shar when and Mike's the one who came up with. He's like, Mark, why don't you do like a drunk version of the fun tables? And that's why I'm like, I'll do a buzz version and that kind of thing. But now that my schedule's opened up, maybe I need to look at that.
Yeah,
for
it was a boomer. It was a boomer because I saw that you have Char in the other one, and I really wanted to be there because it was like it came out when she was there and I was there, and I really wanted to be part of it with at least one of those guests. But I'm really happy that I met you guys too. So yeah, it's good. So we can maybe make a big one next a New Year's one.
We could, the theme could be like, goodbye to 2020, so people can get blitzed or whatever.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we are all just here.
For some reason, this just will remind me of Drunk History.
Oh, I love that show.
I don't know it. It's a show, Drunk History.
It's like people retell historical events, but they do it while drunk, and it's so funny. And they have like famous actors come in and reenact while the people are telling the story, and it's just hilarious because every time the person is speaking in the voice of whoever it is, the actor is lip syncing it. It's so and like included burps and everything. It's just
Sunny. They also made a Spanish one. I know like Derbez is in that.
Oh, I never knew about it. I need to. I will Google it or YouTube it. I'm sure I will find something there.
Like
wow.
I would love to be on that show. I think it'd be so fun.
Wow.
Just even be like part of the reenactment. Like
yeah, of course. Now that you're saying it, it sounds something like really, really fun. Okay,
But if like we were talking about Bailey's earlier, if you go to Costco, they have like a Bailey's alternative. It's called like the Irish Cream by Kirkland, and it's like
Oh, yeah.
$10.
it's
Yeah.
good.
For $10, you get more than you get for a $40 bottle of
Uh-huh.
Bailey's.
I
And
just
it's the
bought
same
one for my
quality. Like
mom.
it's really good. It's the same quality. I have
Yeah.
seen it, but I have never tried it.
It's good.
It is.
It's like with
Oh,
coffee.
okay.
My girlfriend will be like, "Are you putting Bailey's in your coffee?" And I'm just like, "Yeah."
Yes, I am. You can make like milkshakes with it too, and I think
Oh, it's so good.
well, yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
Red
Yeah,
Robin
like
has
from the
some
Red
good
Robin,
spiked shakes.
Yes, I know. Like the one with the orange beer, the Blue Moon. Oh my god, that's my favorite. But I tried the Bailey's one, and I was like, oh, this is so good. So yeah, I didn't even know like you could do that, and I was like, oh, why not? So I can put it on coffee and milkshakes. Really good.
Anytime I think of Bailey's, I think back to college, and my only roommate that I had in the dorms was a pretty straight-laced guy. So when he turned 21, I don't know who gave him a bottle of Bailey's, but neither of us were seasoned drinkers, so we just drank it straight. We didn't mix it with anything. And I think back about that now, I'm like, oh, you should have done something with that. But yeah, we just sit there and just shared the bottle.
I think Bailey's is definitely to pour it on desserts or drinks or anything like that. I mean, it doesn't taste that bad if you take a shot of it or a glass of it.
Yeah, on the rocks,
I
it's
think
good.
yes, but not to get drunk with it. It's like, well, I don't see myself getting drunk with it. Like just with that thing.
Yeah, it sounds like a painful hangover.
Yes, and yes, too much sugar. You're gonna be dying next day.
This is the same roommate that anytime we went to like a party, or if I went to a party off campus, I'd always invite him because he's a really cool guy and everything. But he would always say no. I would be real polite about it. And then one time he finds, okay, I'll come. He must have lasted maybe 30 minutes, and it was just too crazy for him. Too many things going on, and there was some illicit use going on, not by me, but by other people. And he's kind of, I can't remember what he said to me, but something about like, I think I need to excuse myself now. Something super polite. But I got so lucky that we got along really well. That was my biggest concern transferring to a college of like, what's my roommate going to be like? Some stranger that I don't know, and I got to live with them in this small little thing. And we didn't have one of those nice ones that has like a bathroom, that kind of stuff. That bathroom was down the hall. So it's like, man, if I don't get along with this guy, this is going to be a problem. And he was super chill.
Yeah.
We got along really, really well. So I was very fortunate.
Man, those whole floor bathrooms though, man, I stayed in the dorm my freshman year. Thankfully, I had my roommate was someone I went to high school with, but using that communal bathroom was like, I went to the doctor and I was like, my stomach hurts so bad, and she's like, yeah, you need to go to the bathroom, like go to the bathroom. And I was like, because I was so like, I didn't want like, oh, someone would always be going in there. Someone's always in there taking a shower. And I'm like, I don't want to be in there and do my business while someone else is like, you have to like relearn like,
but then there's
the bathroom.
There's people who don't care and they just.
Yeah. And it freaked me out.
I'm the same way. Like, it's kind of weird. People are just like, so there are a lot of people who are comfortable about it. I'm just like, oh, I kind of need some privacy for this.
Yeah, like, oh, I gotta wait till like 2 a.m.
Oh, nobody was around.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you, Christine, because I remember when I found out that we had communal bathrooms on our floor when I first was moving in my stuff, because my other friend lived in a different dorm that had its own little like bathroom and kitchenette or whatever, but they also was like 3 other roommates with him. Mm-hmm. And he's super particular about that kind of stuff. Like, he was saying, Mark, there's no way I could do a communal bathroom like what you have to do. And I remember, bringing my little basket of shower stuff down there, and there's only like 3 showers in the one that we were at. And depending on the time, so like if it was like a Monday through Friday, and if it was really early, there might be a couple people in there. But like on the weekend, if you got in there early, you're fine because everyone's sleeping in.
Right.
But every now and then, if you're like a 10, 11, 12, forget it, on a Saturday or Sunday, and there's like a line of guys waiting there with their little shower caddies, and it was just weird. I was not comfortable with that at all. And I never got to the point where I'm like, hey, I don't give a shit. I'm just going to go do what I know. I never got, I was kind of strategic about, using the facilities and taking a shower. And that also reminds me of that for a very short while, maybe 10 years ago, I was a part of a gym locally. And I was not used to the whole, locker room thing. It had been many, many years since, basically high school, since I'd been in a gym situation. And this guy must have been like maybe in his 60s. And he had his leg up on this counter, drying himself off. And I was just like, I understand if you put your foot like on a bench, to do that. But he had it way up here doing this. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to see this right now. And it was like burned in my brain. I could not get that image out of my head. And it was one of the many factors that led me to leaving the gym life. And so I'm going to go back to doing stuff outside like I used to do and doing old school Rocky stuff and not going to a gym like that, because that was, and he had no problem. He's just like, doing his thing. I'm like, oh man, his junk's all hanging out. And oh no.
It's crazy how people are so comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember doing, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go.
I was going to say, I remember doing my first Euro trip with friends, and we stayed at hostels, and they were co-ed too, and the bathrooms were like co-ed. So we would shower, and I'd be like, man, where do I change? I can't go back to my room because it's co-ed, and then like the bathroom's co-ed, like where the fuck do I change? And it's one of those things you're like, they'll probably never see me again, but hey, fuck it. Like,
Right.
Wow,
Yeah. One time, I was in San Francisco with my husband, and we do really long walks, like we're urban hikers, and so we hiked from like Union Square over to the Haight-Ashbury area, and we were sitting on a bench somewhere, and some dude is like walking down the street with bags of groceries, and he was 100% in the nude, just walking down the sidewalk, and I was just like, what? Why? Like, what? I don't understand. I mean, I guess we're in the hippie area, but oh my goodness. Like, and he just walked up the hill past us like it, and he was like 65, 70. And it was just like, is that a thing? Like, is it normal?
oh yeah. In San Francisco, it was like a normal thing. Like, my ballet school was in the Castro, and there was always this old man, I would say probably 65 and up, always walking around naked, and he had his little sock. Like, but yeah, it was like a normal thing. Like, you could walk around naked and you would not get in trouble. Like,
I have seen that too, like, and I hear about like San Francisco. That's pretty common. I haven't seen it myself, but I hear about it. I hear that's a thing. Like, nobody
it's
cares.
there.
It's covered.
like you would see
It has
them
been for a long time. Yeah, it has been for a long time. It's nothing new.
Mhm.
That's why nobody, makes like a big deal. Only, unless you are not from there.
Yeah, you would see them like go to the bus stop and like take out their little blanket and put on the little like bench to wait for the bus.
I think from now on, I'm going to need a little blanket wherever I sit down in San Francisco.
But then again, I remember even as a kid, like during Pride Week, you would have the people just riding their bikes in the nude down the city.
Yeah.
Like, so it was just like a normal thing. And
I mean, that makes sense.
They do that here in the solstice parade.
Yeah.
But like, I was gonna say, like industrial girl 25 said, like, yeah, at that age you just don't care anymore. Like, you're like,
yeah, I wish they did, but
it's a nice day. Got to get your vitamin D while you can. I mean, it gets cloudy there, right?
Yeah, that's how you get that even tan. And
yeah, and if you're a guy, you get it on both of your heads. It was there. I had to say it.
I just wanted to go to Amoeba Records, man. That's all I care.
I miss Amoeba Records.
They still have one in San Francisco. I hear that they changed the location, the one in LA.
Yeah. That's a really
feel like
cool.
the-
That was a really cool one. I've been
Yeah,
there.
Oh
actually,
my god, yeah. I was
I
there.
feel like the
Last time I
LA
was
one.
there. It was a year ago. Last time I was there, I think.
Hmm.
And I got like 4 or 5 records from there. It was amazing.
I was gonna say
music
the
too.
LA one was like the cool one because like you had people who performed there, like bands would actually like do live shows.
Yes, yes, that was incredible. You can spend like half a day there, like
Oh yeah.
easily. Yeah,
Hmm.
really good.
Yeah, they have good boxes of 45s. Hmm.
I was actually trying to get the record store owner from Daybreak Records to come in because I know RJ, and we've been trying to have a beer for the longest time, but because of COVID and all this kind of stuff. So I said, "Hey man, come on in." And so he has the link, but I don't know when he gets off shift or anything. But if you're a vinyl person over in Fremont, RJ's your guy, and he's done me right in terms of if you decide to sell anything.
Mhm.
He knows, and obviously I know what things are worth, and he never lowballed me once ever. He even told me in some cases like I could probably get more money from Discogs or some things online if I wanted to try to sell it that way. So he was really good that way. But I was trying to get him on here because I know he would be totally having a good time with what we're talking about. And obviously we're right into vinyl right now and naked people and everything else. But,
Hey Mark, what's the store on Fremont?
Daybreak Records.
Daybreak. Okay.
Daybreak.
Yeah. Right on
Ooh.
Fremont. I forget the cross street. He just recently moved. Well, not recently, but during the pandemic, he moved right across the street from his old location.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and RJ is the owner.
Okay.
That's his shop.
I gotta let you know I got another Debbie Gibson 45. Stand Together.
Staying together.
Staying together.
Oh.
Yeah. I get like the most weirdest stuff. It's the best.
Yeah, I will always enjoy. I remember seeing her live 3 times, and I enjoyed every concert that I was at with her. So I don't know what she's turned into now and what she's doing these days, but at the time, she was very entertaining, really good. And I know she, wrote most, if not all, of her songs, and did a lot of producing on her, and she's got perfect pitch, and did theater stuff, and so yeah, she's got a lot of talent, and I just remember seeing her on that TV show, The Apprentice. And she was like self-promoting herself, which is fine. I mean, that's why you're on the TV show, but that's like all she did. And I was like, God, I wish you can just kind of be a little bit more normal instead of just like, well, she starts singing Out of the Blue or starts singing a little bit of Shake Your Love. And I'm like, do you really need to do that while you're in this business meeting or whatever she was doing at the time?
That's what I would do if I was on The Apprentice. I would just sing Debbie Gibson songs.
Yeah, or
to cover up my inabilities.
And then Industrial Girl Christine saying something about an independent vinyl store down there in East LA. Nothing but
the one that is like in Pasadena or the one that is in Long Beach?
I don't know. She can't remember the name off the top of her head.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think
LA still has.
There you go.
Yes.
Record parlor.
LA
I've
still
heard
has
of that
a
place.
lot of. Well, not a lot, like that.
Oh,
still
it's Hollywood.
like big vinyl or record stores, and that's cool because you can find like really good stuff over there.
Yeah, I've heard of the record parlor. The last time I was down there, and my friend and I went to Amoeba, and that was on my list of places to go to, but we didn't end up getting there. But I heard they had really good prices and a really large selection. So maybe next time yeah, I'll drive my husband crazy.
I miss LA. I miss LA so much. The food, the people over there. It's really cool. I wouldn't live there because it's really hot for me.
It's too hot.
Yeah, it's too hot. But I miss the vibe of it, the shows, the people, the food.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. Like, I would move to LA just for the music scene because, like, there's always good music.
Art. They have really cool events too.
Food, like I said in the previous shows, like for like the rockabilly scene's big in LA. So
yeah, they have really big spaces over there too for art, for music, and art galleries and all that. It's really cool.
What's not to love about like old Hollywood like deco, like old LA buildings?
yeah, the buildings, big buildings over there, all the city. Yeah, it's really cool. And also like, well, I like to hike and go for walks and all that. So it's really beautiful over there.
And
The only
Disneyland.
bad thing is too hot. Is the only thing that I don't like about it. It's too
Yeah.
hot, too hot, too hot, too hot. Yeah.
Christine, let me ask you something.
Oh yeah.
Kind of dawned on me. Do you ever poke around in the half price books in Linwood off of 90?
Yeah. All the
Okay.
time. Well, I mean, I
Right.
do still, even now, I'll go in like once a month and I go through I have touched every 45 in that place. And they have one, a box of the collector ones under the counter by the register too. So I go through all of those and I look at them all. And yeah, that's where I found Debbie Gibson, in fact. Yeah. Yeah. Because they're like 25 cents, 50 cents. Yeah. And it's a lot of times they're in really good shape too, depending, because like people just drop off their collections. So yeah, I found lots of good stuff there. And my kid's school is really close by.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
I
I found a couple of good things there, like a long time ago. But then I went there. The last time I was there, probably, I don't know, 8 months ago. I didn't find anything, like not really good books or like good deals. Basically, it's like I can find the same book on Amazon, like
Oh yeah.
newer edition, recent
Mhm.
edition for that price. So that half
Mhm.
price thing, I don't think is a thing. But
Yeah.
it's not the case, Sometimes you can find good things.
Oh yeah.
And I am
Sometimes.
always up for recycling or used things.
Mhm.
Like
I
I
feel
don't
like
mind.
sometimes you go there and you walk out with nothing, and then other times I walk out with this giant stack of books and music, and it just, I
Yeah,
guess it's just like
same.
I just have to be persistent. So I don't, I don't
Okay.
get like,
Yeah,
I don't get mad about it. I always say
yeah.
next time will be the one.
Yeah, you're right. Me too. Like I like, to go to thrift stores and like sometimes I find really cool things and sometimes I don't find anything. But
the,
that's how
Yeah,
it goes.
the reason
sometimes Goodwill, like,
oh,
sorry,
go ahead, Carlos.
like Goodwill, you can find some good vinyls there if you really like
Yeah.
Right.
time and search.
Mhm. Yeah. Definitely.
I was on my original Star Wars VHS kick, and I found an unwatched, unwrapped.
Ooh,
I
that's
have
great.
I have that too.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes they have really cool
Thanks
stuff.
for hanging
I
out,
find
Industrial Girl. Happy holidays to you. Yeah, and
just
have
living.
fun over
Oh,
at the Bar Sinister, folks.
I'm
yeah.
jealous of your copy of Abbey Road.
Yes. Good grief.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
But yeah, no, the reason I bring that
Happy
up
holidays.
is twofold. Is that I'm pretty sure, but I wasn't sure at the time. I saw you walking out of there when I was there. That's what I'm like. Is that Christine? I was
Yeah,
trying to
that was
look.
me.
Okay.
That was me. Was it like mask times or not mask
No,
times?
pre-pandemic. I have no
Yeah,
math times.
I used to go there like every single Friday because I would teach art at my kids' school, and after that, I kind of had a thing where I'd go do my rotation at school and then go hit the half price books.
Okay. Yeah, and then for me, like after Christmas, they usually do that 20% off store-wide thing. So that's why a lot of times I think about this time of year. Normally I would be going there to go look through like movies and any other kind of treasure I might be able to find. So
Right.
yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
I remember I found also, sorry, I remember that I found also like really cool DVDs, but like limited editions. Like for some
Mhm.
reason, people start like giving away their old DVDs, but the ones that were living editions, like in my case, I love horror movies, and the ones from the Anchor Bay from early 2000s, they release like these limited editions that are so, like they're like really thick with books and postcards inside, and they're really beautiful. And I remember back in the day, those were really really pricey when they come out. Well, at least in Mexico, the price was insane. And I saw them here for $1, and it was ridiculous because I was like, oh my god, I remember when I couldn't afford this thing because it was really, really expensive, and now it's like I got it for $1. It was like so cool. So I have some of those editions that I found there, and I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it, you know.
Yeah, that's why I loved Amoeba. Like Amoeba Records, you can find DVDs, like CDs,
Yeah.
vinyls. And we also used to have one called Rasputin Records.
Oh
in the Bay
yeah,
Area.
they're great.
There was
I've
one
been to the one in Berkeley.
in Berkeley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I haven't
remember,
been there.
I would go there with my dad. He used to love collecting Criterion Collection DVDs.
Oh,
Like, you could find,
awesome.
yeah. So like this is like my prized possession that Rowan got me from Goodwill.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Like she found that at Goodwill. I'm like, oh, actually it was yeah.
You found it on Goodwill?
At Goodwill, and then she found out Brian Setzer, like.
Oh,
Brian
look at
Setzer. Oh,
look at his
wow.
face. Look at his hair.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Brian Setzer Orchestra for the Christmas shows?
No.
I haven't seen the Christmas show.
Well, I
But
mean,
I know the band.
I think I've watched performances that he's done, but I haven't actually been able to go see him.
Same here.
Yeah, here.
But
I
yeah,
have
that
seen
and
like videos. Oh, that's
Oh,
Johnny
yeah.
Cash. Johnny Cash. Oh, I love Johnny Cash. Yeah. I used to work in a record store when I was very young, and I worked there for probably 6 years or so. And I really enjoyed the job. It was really bad payment, but I really love to be surrounded by music and records. And they used to sell movies too, but records, CDs, tapes, and all that, and I love it. So I listen mostly rock and metal, but I sometimes I am in the mood for Johnny Cash or ambient, or I like classical music too, or soundtracks. So yeah, that's why, because I was surrounded by that. I had to learn because people ask me, hey, do you have this certain artist? And even if I don't like it, I need to be able to tell him, oh yeah, I have this here.
Which is awesome though, because like it makes you just like a more well-rounded person or more well-versed in music.
Yeah, indeed. And it was the same with the movies. That's what I know, the Criterion collection, because we were selling movies there, and I was just going through them. And I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And it was nothing that I was expecting. It's like, I grew up watching like really crappy B horror movies. And then I, watch art movies or surreal movies that are mostly, or like the Criterion has a lot of those. And I was like, oh, wow. So I do love those too.
Sony, so the Criterion Collection also has like a live stream thing like Netflix, but just their kind of movies.
Oh yeah, I saw the channel the other day, but I like to have the ones that I love from Criterion. I have them either on DVD or Blu-ray. I have some of them, like the ones that I really love. I watch them all over again. Like you probably can think like I watch horror all year. No, I have sometimes like the need to watch something more artistic, and that's when the Criterion Collection goes in. They have like a really beautiful line of surreal and artistic films that are visually are. I mean, I am not into cinema. Like I don't have any education about cinematics or anything like that. But as a merely fanatic, it's something that I really enjoy and that I really appreciate, and I pay attention to the camera movements or details and all that. So.
Well, I was going to add in with the film thing. One thing I learned from the director yesterday was talking about that a lot of times that for people like myself, I'm just a fan of film. I don't know how to make one or anything like that. But he was saying that so many things that it's what you don't see in the film. So he was talking about like they were shooting all of their scenes at night, and the location on Monday night, there was a cleaner that came through at a certain time. On Tuesday nights, this train came by. On Wednesday nights, all these kind of things that would mess up their shots. So they had to kind of schedule everything around all these kind of things out there. And then sometimes there was like they'd have to digitally remove a car that wasn't supposed to be there, but there it was in the shot. and these things that I just never think of. And he was actually animating all of his stuff instead of storyboarding it before they would film. He would actually animate all of it and then film it. So I'm like, holy crap! I mean, how much time is that? And he said, well, he felt that the preparation really made the filming that much easier for them. But yeah, because of sunlight and other kind of issues, things that I just don't really think about. I'm looking at all the kind of stuff of like, what do you do with this, and how did you get this actor to do that? And he was like, oh, that's kind of the easy part. The hard part's all the other stuff that you don't actually end up seeing.
That's right. No, yeah, that's right. Like even doing like extra work and being a part of films and stuff like that. Like how many times you repeat the same scene over and over? Like you do so many takes. Like it's insane.
Because you mess up or the other actor mess up, and yeah, like I had the opportunity to be like to have small roles in independent films. And even though, like you can say, it's an independent film, but they really put an effort and they do it professionally, even if they don't have the budget of, famous director. It's really amazing, like to see how they make it and to be with an experienced people that have done more movies than you. And in my case, the first time that I did it, I got nervous. But like at the third or fourth time, like at first it was really good, but I went ahead of the time, and it's a really nice experience. Like Carlos say, like you have to take the same thing, like do it over and over, and you think like, oh, it's a really small part. Like I only have, I don't know, like less than a minute, or I am in a scene that is like like less than a minute, but it took probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. Like the preparation of it, the makeup. I was hanging up upside down in ropes. So like all of that is like, you don't know that, but it took a lot of time. And
Sony, can I stop you right there? Can you tell me more about this hanging upside down thing that you were just talking about?
They hired a shibari rope artist to tie me up. So I was immobilized, and they hung me upside down from, I don't know how, I don't remember, but it was like a considerable height. Like it was a professional, but if I, it's the risk is there. Like okay,
yeah.
So it was really interesting, and they were asking me all the time, like, "Are you okay? Do you need a break?" And I don't know, every 20 minutes or so, I was like, "Yes, I need a break," because I start feeling like all my blood going, all over my head. And you can see in the shots and in the pictures that my head was some kind of swollen, and I think that helped also to the story and the expressions in the face, because I saw it. I was like, oh my god, I looked really different, but it was because all the blood that goes, the gravity.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, but the preparation for it was really interesting. Like, okay, you need a break? Yes, okay, take it down, and then again, okay, start again, and then there was somebody else involved in the scene, and I had to wait for her to dialogue, and it's really interesting. Like you have to do it a few times. And you think like, okay, it's just a small scene, but it takes hours just to do that.
Yeah.
And I am not thinking about the edition and all the other work that the rest of the team has to make. I mean, it's really hard to make a movie. So even if it helps, or I understand more about independent films or really crappy movies with zero budget, because now I saw the effort and everything that the people making the movie goes through it. It's really hard work.
Yeah, like all the shots that they have to do, because they do a close up, they do a wide angle, they do the same, and you have to repeat everything the same way you did previous, which is crazy. Everything has to be exactly the same.
And one to be safe, and one for this, and one for that, and different angle. If I don't know, if they don't have like the budget to, have more than one camera, it's like they have to shoot different angles too. So you name it, it's a really interesting work.
Well, I I can also add in, so this director did his independent film, has done shorts and that kind of thing, but then he's also mainly a writer. And so one of his screenplays is being made into, they actually changed the title. It's going to be called Vanquished, I believe he said. And so it's starring Morgan Freeman. So obviously an A-lister.
Oh, cool.
But here's the interesting part about 2020 and the pandemic. So when the storyline initially was going to be that Morgan Freeman is this character that's inside of a car that kind of creates these issues where this other character kind of like has to kind of like jump through a bunch of hoops basically to solve like a thriller kind of ending. And because of COVID and because of Morgan's age, who was 82 at the time, no company would insure him safely on a set. So what did the writer have to do? Completely change it. So they made it that Morgan was doing all of these demands from a room by himself. That's how literally that's how the whole film had to get changed. And so instead of driving the car, he had to be in this room just to make the whole COVID thing work. And I'm like, wow, I never would have thought about that. So that's how we got around it. But in his case, he was like, oh my gosh, how many weeks do I have to come up with a new idea to make this thing work? And they went through several rewrites and all this other kind of stuff. I'm fascinated by that, the behind the scenes kind of stuff like that. But I just never thought about with his age and that kind of thing. It made sense once he told me. But yeah, supposedly he's saying, knock on wood, it should be out next year. So.
Cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's why I like to watch the interviews that come up normally on the extra features on the Blu-rays or DVDs editions. They normally have or include interviews with the staff, and it's really cool because they tell you like all these crazy stories that you don't have idea they went through the production or the making of the movie, and it's like, oh, cool. Yeah, I love to do that. I always watch those extras, or sometimes I watch the director commentary in the whole movie. Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, that's exactly what that guy was saying. He was talking about listening to the director commentary on the original Rocky.
Yeah, cool.
All that kind of stuff, and he learned so much just from that.
And,
I'm always just interested just as a fan, but having the chance and opportunity to talk to these folks has been, I don't care what level you are or like how many films you've made or what you've done. I'm fascinated by that process. I'm amazed that anything gets done in the film world based on so much stuff. And again, Carlos and Sony have seen it from the the behind the scenes part of it. There's so much stuff and so many moving parts. It's like, oh my gosh, how do you get this final product in here and actually have it be good?
I don't know, like I'm always curious or always interested in the whole editing process, because like I mean, for that editor to be able to like pick what scenes and what goes where, like that's a lot of stress on your shoulder too.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, and you can completely change the narrative of the film being the editor. I mean,
and it gives you also like a different view of it. Like normally the people that get rewarded or like get almost everything, or like the recognition is normally the actor or the main actress, but the truth is like also the whole team that is behind it that make hell of a job get the movie done. And that's what I learned about it. Like, oh my god, I didn't have idea. Like everything counts, like since the person that is giving you the food, the person that is cleaning the set, you name it, it's a lot of things. It's amazing.
Total teamwork.
Yeah, I guess from my end, I haven't been involved in any movie making, but I've been able to do a couple of production still shoots for some music videos, and it's been fascinating in those moments to like watch people who have an idea about how they want something to look, and I don't know what it's going to end up looking like, and then watching them go through that process of creating all of that and then seeing that end result. It just like makes the hair stand up on your arm that like this group of people like got together, came up with the concept, and then brought all this stuff together to make it happen. And then like the realization of that is just like so cool to see, and to be involved with that even in a like little tiny part it's just really, really awesome.
It's amazing. And if the person you normally don't stop and think about those things until you are involved with it, then you see all the effort that the person who is shooting the video and I don't know, the person that is in charge of the clothing or the makeup, or the main actor or subject in the video. You name it, the music, if it's a musical video or if it's a documentary, or it's a lot of work. The person
like
who's doing the video.
the crew is always amazing. Like what they can do,
It is.
like it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've told that director, because we were talking offline yesterday. So if you need a pear-shaped Asian, I'm your guy. I don't care what you have me do. I'll stand. I'll sit in the background. I'll do something. I would love it to be a fly on the wall, just to kind of see all that kind of stuff come together, and just for my own amusement, I suppose. But hey, Tony, if there's another question, I realize we went for a long period of time, having a good time talking about all kinds of random things. If you have another question you want to throw into the chat, because it's getting late over there for you on the East Coast, that would be awesome.
I love questions. Some people is like asking me, like, you don't mind if people is asking you random questions in interviews? Like, no, I love it.
Anything you want, Tony. It's up to you. You have the control.
What do you want to know?
Yeah. You can get down and dirty at this point. I mean, it's 10 o'clock here.
To be honest, I am half drunk. So.
I know. I'm feeling it already. I'm like, wow, man, I'm a lightweight now.
Gag gift?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like a gag gift?
Like a joke gift?
Yeah, like a joke.
Yeah.
For fun, to be kind of funny.
Yes, when I was a kid, between my brothers, my siblings, my brothers and my sister, we used to do mean stuff like that. Like, okay, you got a Christmas gift, and there was like a piece of paper saying like, oh, you got, I don't know, like used bubble gum or something like that. So, yeah.
I think for us,
We
like
used to do that.
in the ballet company, during Nutcracker, we would do White Elephant within the company members of my previous company. And the best one we all contributed to was we got this one guy. Remember the Borat thong swimsuit? And actually, he wore it and he showed it to the ballet director.
I believe it's called a mankini.
And just like the director's expression, like
I would love to see that. I mean, I have never seen one in the flesh, like in person. I have seen those on pictures, but I can't imagine.
I'm not sure who was the one who bought it. I would have been shy buying it. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, people who go into sex shops and buy things, I'm like, props to them. Like, I'd be so embarrassed. I'm like,
what? He says he wrapped 2 pieces of coal for his niece and nephew. Whoa!
I think that's what the kids are not good. Yeah.
Well, someone's obviously been bad for Christmas.
Yes, that would be like a really good thing.
Of course, it's a joke. Of course.
But imagine just getting that, you unwrap your gift and it's coal, and you're like, oh.
I will make a barbecue with a coal,
Just add lighter fluid.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I will start grilling my meat there.
I worked at a computer company about 20 years ago as an audio engineer. And so we did the White Elephant thing around the holidays. And there's a bunch of goofball kind of people there. So I knew they could take a joke. And I just remember that the gift that I wrapped and put for somebody to take was a full body condom.
like the Naked Gun?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. That was my gift that I wrapped. I can't remember at this point who got that. Oh no, it was that guy that I didn't like. He's the one that picked it and got it, and everyone's laughing at him. They wanted him to take it out of the package and actually see. That thing's freaking big. Yeah, it's like maybe a good 5 feet or whatever. But yeah, that's when I think of gag gifts. That's the one thing I can think of was the full body condom.
I can't think of anything. I'm like, I don't know. I'm always trying to get something nice for somebody. I know, like, there was a year we did the white elephant with my family, and everybody just gave each other big bottles of alcohol, but it wasn't really funny. It was just kind of cool.
That,
That's cool. Like you don't know how to be mean. That's nice.
Yeah.
that's the holiday
Yeah.
spirit.
Gag gift? What's that? Apparently, it's a full bottle of Irish cream from Costco.
I remember at that same white elephant. Speaking about the alcohol thing, I got a bottle of Jack Daniels that I picked. I was like, oh, so of course there's the rules that you can steal and all that kind of stuff. So one of our programmers stole it from me. He said, but Mark, I'm going to give you the first swig off this thing. So I was like, oh, okay, that lessens the blow a little bit. Because I ended up with something goofy, like I think it was a mini Etch-a-Sketch is what I ended up taking home from that. Speaking of Etch-a-Sketch and iPads, weird 6 degrees.
Ooh, Jack Daniels though. Oh.
I love it. I haven't drank it in a while though. I think the last time that I drank Jack Daniels was in the Amanda Gallant show. Like it was like
wow.
this year. It was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I don't even remember. I remember that I was drinking Jack all that show.
That's
So,
right. I was at that show with you because you were in the bar area and then I was sitting in front. That's right. God, I completely forgot about that.
Beautiful show. It's still one of my favorites ever. Yeah. That woman is out of this world. I love her.
Yes. Yeah. That show stayed with me for months and I've never been.
Oh yeah, for me too. It still is here. Like I still.
Yeah. I was not prepared. I was not prepared for that show and what she does.
I was, but even though I was, still it was more than I was expecting.
Yeah, I was like this close to being able to interview her.
You told me that. Yeah, you told me.
Everything was working out.
Oh my God! I think I will kneel before her or something like that.
Yeah, and the day of the show is when they pulled the plug on it, only because she wasn't feeling well, which I understood. So I still got to cover the show and sit in the front and all that kind of shit or whatever. But yeah, that show was just like ooh-wee. I mean, just it's hard to describe what her shows are like. We're talking about Diamanda Gallant for people that are watching this, and she's avant-garde and just sings in throats, so there's different octaves going at the same time and plays piano and it's dark and it's also beautiful and it's just like, man, I just never experienced anything.
You see her and she's so elegant, but also like threatening, but you know that she's amazing and sweet at the same time. I don't know, she has a really beautiful aesthetic, but it's just her. Like I haven't seen any people that look like her at all. Like she's unique.
yeah, she's unique, and this was at the Neptune Theater is where she performed at with just her and a piano, and
wow,
it was just mind blowing. Highly recommend if she ever happens to come. I don't know if she's ever going to do shows again, out this way. She's based in New York, but if she does, absolutely go see her. That was.
She has done a couple since the pandemic. She has done a couple online, and the tickets were really cheap, like $10 or $5 or $15 or in that range. But she has doing like the music for other artists that are exhibit their work in galleries, because she has done that in the past too, like doing the music and for some other artists, like exhibit. It's really interesting. She's a very interesting woman. Like music, her music is unique out of this world. I don't know how to describe it either.
Yeah. I can't describe it either. But you actually kind of bring up another question for me, for everybody here. Are you still interested in certain artists' live streams when they're doing them? Because that's the only alternative that we have right now. Are you kind of getting burnt out on them, or have you seen one that was really good that that you recommend that people try to check out if it's still up on some other platform? What do you guys think of stuff?
Like I said, I saw the Amanda Galas because it was the Amanda Galas, but I have seen bands that I really do like going through it. But I don't think that it will be the same experience. Like I can understand the Amanda Galas do it, and I will, pay for an online the Amanda Galas experience because it's totally different. Like from, for example, the metal show. For me, the metal show is about to go and release everything that I have inside me. And it's more like a cathartic experience and to be there live. So it's not the same like to be in a live stream. I will do it just to support the band, but definitely it can't compare to the experience to be there.
Yeah.
It's like to watch a video on YouTube.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree with Sunny that like it's hard to watch performance. I don't know. I feel like you do just have to be there. Like I watch posts by friends on Facebook, and they post because they like EDM music. I'm like, how do they just watch somebody push buttons? Like, what's the purpose of that? Like, they're not doing anything. Like, how do you watch that? Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I feel like you just have to be there in person and like take everything in.
Even for another thing, for example, the opera. Like it's not the same to see the opera on a YouTube that be there and see it, like the live, listen to music and see the theatrical experience. It's not the same. It's gonna never be the same. So
yeah, when you watch
it,
when you watch it online, it is like watching anything on YouTube. Like. So it takes away from the experience, I think.
Yeah, it takes away, a lot of the experience to be there. I understand, and I have done a couple of them, support the artists, but if that's gonna be the new thing, I don't think it's gonna, work for me. Like I want my live shows, I want my live experience, I want my live concert. And I saw some friends posting. They have this thing like bands performing, and they are in their cars watching everything. I haven't experienced it myself, so I don't know if that will work for me either. Because in the metal show, it's like all about to be there. Like with all the crowd and all the vibe and all the energy of everybody together. That's part of it.
And the mosh pit.
Exactly, in the mosh pit. Or even if you are not into the mosh pit, it's like the vibe of the people that are in the mosh pit and you are, here with other people and everybody connected, the vibe, and it's not the same. And to see the band and feel the band, it's a cathartic experience. And, in the opera or a theater, a play is like go and be there in your seat and see the actors or see the performers in the opera, the singers. It's not the same that we watch them on the video. It's not the same sound. It's not the same.
I mean, I think for me, the live streams that I've enjoyed the most aren't necessarily filmed live, but have been kind of put together rather than kind of like in the moment, like happening live. One of my favorites was my friend's band, Oliver Elf Army. They made it like made it like an after school special. And it was super funny and cute where they like zoom in on the lead singer Martin, and he's like reading the dictionary, and then he's like, oh, hello, and then has this sort of intro, and then it's them playing their songs, but they're socially distanced. The husband and wife, Martin and Mary, are in one spot, and then the bassist is in another one, and he's at his house, and so they had to like put it together. They played separately. And it's this great kind of split screen of all three of them. And then Henry, the bassist, has like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers playing on the TV in the background. And then it goes not just from them, but they asked their friends to do covers of their songs. So it wasn't just Oliver Elf Army performing, but their friends were performing Oliver Elf Army songs and in their own styles. So you get like a guy playing the accordion and doing a song, and another guy like doing the knob twisting EDM kind of thing doing a song, and you have a guy sitting by the river playing acoustic Spanish guitar for a song, and it's all just very tongue-in-cheek and it's entertaining. It's not like watching a live show, because obviously that's not how things work right now. And it was fun because it was different.
Yeah, like I
yeah.
said, I think for me it's a good thing to support the artists, because
I'll be
I
right back.
yeah, okay. I understand that that they are going through like a hard time, so it's a good opportunity to support them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely not a replacement of a live experience, if you know what I mean. I know they put a lot of effort. Like I saw like 3 or 4 burlesque shows from other performers that I know, and they made it beautiful. I mean, it's amazing. They put a lot of effort, and it went beautiful. But it's not the same. Like if you are in the theater, you know, enjoying there with your beverage, and you are all dressed up just to go to the show, like being in pajamas in your bed watching the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even like I've been able to go and like mask up and socially distantly shoot a couple of live streams, so taking photos of a band while they're live streaming, which is really fun for me because I really miss being in the room with that. So seeing that happening is really awesome, but at the same time there's like nobody else there. So there's an empty room, there's not a mosh pit, there's not people yelling and clapping and screaming. It's like the band finishes a song and then it's completely silent. And it's just kind of weird at the same time. But it's lucky that I get to go see some live music, but it's definitely not the same.
Not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So for you that you used to photograph live shows and all that, what other alternatives do you have right now? Like with all these changes that are happening?
I mean, I've basically been unemployed. Yeah, I'm a mom, so like I said, I usually would be working in my kids' classrooms during the week, and that's not happening. I've spent a lot of time making face masks and then donating them to like United Way and delivering them and mailing them out to friends and people who need masks. But you know, none of that's paid, so that's been kind of rough. Yeah, shooting live music is, that's my income, and I haven't had any. But at the same time, it's kind of like supplemental income for our family. So it's not like a concern, but it definitely, I like working, and I like.
Yeah, you miss the experience to be there in a live show and take a picture of the artist or take a picture of the event. It's definitely something else. Yeah, it's something that I miss too. The whole thing, the whole experience, it's not the same. It's you can do it from a computer or any device, you name it, a phone, whatever, support the artist. But
well, and I've been like, I finally broke down and I've been going through like my old hard drives of photos and like looking at old, like, are there any other photos that I can edit that I haven't, like maybe I passed them over the first time and there's something awesome in there and I can but you know, I even beyond just doing the photographing, I love music. I mean, I did live music a long time. I mean, just went to shows for a long time before I even picked up a camera. So, yeah, that's a huge part of my life. If not, who cares about the income? I just want to be able to go see shows.
Yeah, for me that was, like I said, an escape. It was to go into a metal show. It was like an opportunity for me to, you know, forget about all the week and just go there and have fun and, you know, take it all, everything. And when I wanted, you know, to enjoy a different kind of show, I, you know, was in the opera, in the Seattle Opera, that it was beautiful, or a movie in the movie theater, or a play, you name it. So I miss all that. Yeah, and yeah, it's nice to support the artist and like pay for the live streams, but it's not the same. It's definitely not the same to appreciate the artist in the flesh, in the theater, or in this space.
I was going
Right.
to say a quick hi to Bessie, who's over in Greece. So that's why she's over in a whole other country.
Oh, wow.
That's what's been putting these chats in here through YouTube and Facebook. Where are the boys? I'm not sure. Are you asking us, or I'm not sure.
Oh, they took a break. And hi, Bessie.
Yeah.
Where is she located?
Greece.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Greece. Where is she located?
She's located in Greece, the country.
Oh, in Greece. Oh,
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
And Christine, I was going to say one thing that I overheard, that you've had at least an opportunity to shoot live streams as they were happening. So that's been awesome. At least you have, some level of experience, but I haven't even had that opportunity.
I mean, it's a weird opportunity. Like I was telling Sony that like shooting without people and the other, like if there's no crowd, is just kind of weird. And I'm like back behind the bar counter because we're socially distancing, and so that's weird. Because sometimes like before the show, like someone from the band will come up and say, "Could you get me a IPA?" And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I have these cameras. I don't run the bar.
Oh no.
Get your own IPA.
But yeah, but it's been, I mean, that's kind of like a little bit of a lifeline for me to be able to actually hear live music. Yeah, that's been really nice. I haven't done it since I think around right before Thanksgiving. They kind of clamped down again and up the restrictions, and so the place that I had been going to decided that they were going to hold off on doing more live streams, which was probably a really good choice. I mean, there weren't a lot of people there, but it's just to be safe.
Sure. Yeah.
That's another thing I like. If the shows come back, like I was reading, like it was the case in some cities in Europe. Like this band was playing, but the venue only sold 50 tickets, and the rest of the people were mad. Like I wanted to go and I couldn't get a whole of tickets. And then I was thinking, in the case of Seattle, like for example, Corazon or Newmo, that is, Corazon is not a big space, and sometimes the tickets get sold out like in 3 days, full capacity. I cannot imagine if you use only, like book a band and only can sell 50 tickets. Like everybody's very pissed off. Like,
well, and I think that like even if they did, like when things really open, I think it's gonna be weird. Like I think I've been talking to my husband about this. Like we kind of wonder if people are gonna have some kind of form of PTSD, or it's gonna be really scary at first to even be going out and to think of entering a room with hundreds of people, and it could be like really kind of freaky for some people after all that we've gone through. And we probably don't even realize it right now, but going back and doing that again might just feel really strange.
Yeah, like you are gonna wear a suit, like if you are manipulating like a really dangerous substance, or like a really dangerous chemical weapon,
if you're
like anthrax or something like that.
well, yeah, and you think, oh, you're in a big room of people, and if you're all drinking beer, and I mean, it used to be okay, and it'll be okay again, but like, how do you become comfortable with that again?
You're right. You're right.
Yep. Yeah, I think I'm in that boat of being cautious, even when shows come back, if they're at 50%, because I'm a moderate risk because I have diabetes. And so does it make sense for me to be around there and hope that I'm going to be okay and that things are going to kind of work out in my favor? Or do I want to not, take that risk of, potentially getting COVID, even though I've been tested, 3 times now? And having gone through that whole protocol situation, but I don't want to make light of any of that kind of thing. So it's like, well, I've missed this. I want to do it, but then the other side of it is like, I would like to be alive too. So, and I don't want to give it to anybody else, obviously, that I love or care about. So it's going to be interesting when we get to that point. Obviously, we're not there yet, but when we do get to that, hey, there's going to be a show at this, Mark, you want to go cover it? And I'll be like, Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for that yet, let alone when I'm actually am ready for it. And like what you're saying, Christina, you and your husband, about it's going to be kind of a mental game of being
Mm-hmm.
around it. If you think that way, which I think at least the people on this panel right now do, we're thinking about safety and other people and what happens. So, and then obviously there'll be other people that don't give a shit. They're just happy that they're back at a show. But those are the people I'm concerned about because they don't care.
Yeah.
And
So yeah.
also, I am wondering, like, for example, like in the conventions, like
Mm.
normally, like you are there in a table and hanging out with a lot of people, and everybody approaches you and wants a picture and hugs you, and or it happens to the actors or the guests that are in the conventions. Like everybody gets and see their favorite actor there or one of their favorite actors or a person that they really adore, and they want to hug them or take a picture. And it's like how that is gonna be. Like now, it's like, do I just go and say hi? Do I shake hands or stay away? I think that got part of the experience of those kind of events too.
It's weird because I've seen like pictures from
Yeah,
like from Day of the Dead, those conventions around the country, and so like they'll
I
have
hear that they put division that you cannot see in the photo ops,
yeah
and
they
in the tables they tell the people to stay away. But I mean, the psychological or
it,
the
it,
mental thing is probably hard.
yeah, and it's so weird because I remember I saw a picture of someone, a fan had paid for a picture, a professional photo with Danny Trejo, and but they're 6 feet apart, and he had a mask, but he decided to take it down around his neck every time they took a picture. So I'm like, do you want to pay $50 or $100, whatever the it costs to get that picture taken, looking like
The
that? It's
point.
just awkward looking.
Well, that's in the case that you are paying for. But what if you find the person in the street or in a concert? Like, I don't know. For example,
Yep.
in a metal band case
Mhm.
or in a punk band, that they are more accessible to be with you or take a picture with you after the show or before the show. Like, how is that going to affect them? How are you going to approach them? Or what if they say no? How are you going to take them? It's like we are used to be fans and get a picture with the bands we love, and you know that if you stay a few minutes after the show, they are gonna get out from this door, and you are gonna have a picture with them. Or if you arrive early, they are gonna be hanging out with you and sharing a beer with you or having a drink with you. Like probably that's gone now. It's
Yeah,
it's
it probably depends on a case by case basis by the band and the band members even. And now, do they want to do that, and do the fans want to do that? And it might be a case of like
yeah.
the whole paid meet and greet thing. It might be that's all you get. So that's how you're going to meet the band. And if you don't do that, then you just get to enjoy the show until we can get past this. That's what I'm thinking from a smart side of things. But again, I'm sure there's going to be some bands that don't care. Hey, I'll come take a selfie with you. And then you have to think as the fan, do I want to do that? So
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, how are you gonna be comfortable to go to a show and be with, like, for example, I have been in shows when, I have been next to people that they don't wear deodorant, or I can tell they haven't showered in, I don't know, a week or so. Get alone now. Like, okay. If they don't shower or they obviously don't wear deodorant, it's like, do they wash their hands
Mm-hmm.
in a
Mm-hmm.
daily basis? So it's something that I wonder to analyze myself. Like, wow.
What are you doing, Mark? You getting a, oh, you're gonna, I thought you were gonna like start a rave, or you're starting a rave in there or something. Like,
no, my light decided to be a turd. There we go. Okay. Let me turn this back off. Turn this back on. There we go. I could do it like that.
it's mood lighting.
Yeah. No, you're right, Sony, though. It's going to be interesting. And again, I think it's just going to be on a case by case basis. So whatever you're
Yeah.
comfortable with and what you think is safe, then some bands are going to be like, yeah, they're not going to allow you to, intermixed with
Oh,
them
near them.
for the
Yeah.
show, or some of them are
Yeah.
going to be like, yeah, yay. Then you got to figure out what you want to do at that point. It's gonna suck. Any which way you look at
Their
it.
way, right?
Especially like if it's a band or band members that you know and they recognize you. Hey, how you been? Like, oh well, let's talk 6 feet apart and not not get that selfie or get that hug or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me by any chance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely. I think it's weird though, right? Because you go to concerts and you're shoulder width apart from people, and like all these sweaty people you don't know, and like. So I think that's been a good thing about COVID.
You're gonna be more, like scared than before. Like probably
Yeah.
before you were like, hey, you, this guy.
Before it was like, oh, this is just kind of gross, but this is like kind of also the awesome part. But now it's just kind of like really gross.
Yeah.
Ken, you might be sick.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
no awesome part.
And it's not funny for people like me either. Like, for example, I have allergies.
Mm-hmm.
And I shouldn't have cats, but I have to. And they give me allergies, and I am conscious about it. And I have cat food all over my clothes. So even if I am not with my cats, I am sneezing all the time because I have cat food all over my clothes. And sometimes, like with this thing going on of the COVID-19, people think that I am sneezing because I'm sick. And it's like, hey, no, I have an allergy. I have been like this for, I don't know, 15 years. So, but they don't know me. And they probably hear me sneeze and freak out, but they don't know that I have been allergic to cats. And also I am allergic to dogs. But I am also a veterinarian, and I used to work with animals, even though that I am allergic. So I just get used to it, to sneeze all the time, and sometimes I have a rash. But it's not because I'm sick; it's allergy.
Mm-hmm.
But people that don't know me will probably freak out because they don't know.
Well, yeah, I can speak to that too because I've gone through COVID protocol 3 times, and I've had allergies since I was in elementary school on prescription medications and all that kind of thing. But at the same time, there's that small piece of me like, what if it isn't that? What if it actually is that I have COVID stuff? So I need to do the right thing at all times. And unfortunately, sometimes you're gonna have other people that don't do that. And I found that out in one of the places that I was working at. They were clearly sick with something, but they didn't send them home, and they didn't have them go get tested. They just said, well, just stay away from them. I said, well, that's not the point. I mean, we're all trying to work safely here, and they should actually go get tested and be in some sort of protocol right now, just like what I've been doing. But some people just aren't going to do that, and that's the unfortunate part of things. So,
I mean, that's what's scary too, just because a lot of the symptoms are very similar to a common cold and
allergies or you name it.
Yeah. People sneeze and you're like, okay, I don't
know
what you have.
I remember I was at the post office, and the worker went around the corner, so we couldn't see her, but you could clearly hear her blowing out her nose.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then she came back, and she didn't have any kind of gloves on or anything. She had a mask, but that was it. And so I'm kind of looking at her touching the keyboard and all that kind of stuff. It's just kind of like, I don't know if you're supposed to be, working right now. And again, maybe you do have a cold or you have allergies, but if you err on the side of caution, you shouldn't be working right now. At least go get tested, especially when they have rapid tests now. So it's not like it was back in April when people were clamoring for a test and you had to be high risk. You can get one pretty much any day that you want now. So it's that excuse goes out the window. But yeah, who knows? I mean, again, it's so weird to look back at this year and the things we missed, the things we want back, and just the timeline of. Even like I'm looking at Christine right now on this square here, and I'm thinking like, so when was that fun table that she was a part of? And I'm like, it feels like it was a year ago or something. And even Carlo, same thing, and it wasn't. It's just like 2 months ago.
Right, I know. We don't know what day it is in this house anymore. We have a really hard time. Well, it happens to all of us. Oh, thank you. It's the 19th. It's a Saturday, I'm being told. It's a Saturday. School break has started.
No, it's easy to lose track of like what day it is, especially with all these things happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and almost everyone's schedule has been changed in some way, so you don't things that you're used to knowing. Oh, okay, on Wednesday I do this, or Friday I do this. I don't even like today. I kept thinking today was Friday, and then tomorrow was when I was doing this. I'm like, no, it's tonight. It's like, yeah, you need to get together, Mark. That's crazy. But hey, Tony, if you're still with us, it'd be a great time for another question if you have one. Realize it's 10:32 over here, so yeah, it's past midnight for him, or 1 o'clock. I can't even do math now. It's like, oh, there you go, perfect. Yeah, he's right on it. Okay,
Right.
oh, all right.
Normalcy.
Yeah. Normalcy. People fall. Sorry. I ate some cookies. Sorry, I'm not coughing because of COVID. It went down the wrong
Good thing
pipe.
we are online. Good thing we are online. I am.
No, yeah, I'm just hoping that people just come to their senses and just like, hey, just follow the rules. Like, you're wearing a mask, you're not gonna die. Like, it's just like being what do you call it? I'm blanking on the word. Just considerate of people. You know, it's not for you. It's not about yourself. It's about the other person. And we could have been over with this if people comply to the rules from the start. But
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
people want to cry and complain about their rights being infringed, and
Yeah. Well, for me, looking forward into 2021 is still alive. And
Hopefully that's a given.
yeah, one. And another one is like still providing, like for my kid and myself. And in order to do that, it's like I start doing things that I even think about it in more than, I don't know, 8 years, like getting back to my old career. And it's scary in a way because I need to do an update and I need to do it in a foreign country that I am not trained at all. Uh, so I have to make a big update, like get into the legislation of drugs and medicine in a foreign country and get approved and demonstrating that I am, capable of doing this job here, even though that I am for a foreign third world country, whatever. It's hard, and I don't want to play the minority card, foreign card at all. What is hard? It's different because I learned to do those things differently that they do in here. And I love where I live, and I want to stay here. And in order to do that, I want to, learn and do what it takes to, get approved and to provide a service that you deserve with the quality that you are used to it, you know. So that's one of my goals for the 2021 or 2022. Like my goal is probably I am being realistic, and I think it's gonna take 2 years because I went through all the research of it. But it took a pandemic for me to have that. Like, I haven't considered that at all. It's just like I lost a lot of things and a lifestyle that sadly took a pandemic for me to shake me and, hey, you need something else besides your artistic lifestyle. So here we go.
yeah, I'm just hoping things get normal, especially for us artists. We're the ones who are suffering the most out of everyone because, we're the ones who are being affected. Like, we're not able to do what we can
Yeah,
do.
it's hard. It's really hard, especially if you have certain lifestyle and then suddenly you lose everything. You lose your job, spaces, other contacts and other people that used to give you work. They don't have work either. So
Yeah, I don't think people realize the importance of the arts right now.
I do too.
Like,
And yeah, for example, I see my friends in LA or New York, and I think they have more opportunities than us here in Washington. I don't know.
Well, and it's hard too because you could be in another state and maybe have more opportunities, but is it still safe?
Hmm.
You know, yeah, I think you're right. I
There's
don't want to
it's
point
hard.
a finger. It's
No,
just
no,
hard
no.
wherever you go.
It's hard in that balance of
Yeah.
things. And I know even like for myself that I think for 2020, to answer Tony's question for me, that I would like to have some level of accountability in terms of what I do for myself, meaning that I want to try to get into something, even if it's like with these survival jobs, that I actually stay with it, because I have a propensity to find something that I don't like about it and quit or find a reason not to be there. And I need to kind of buck up and get past that and just kind of do what I need to do. And then I'll also do these kind of things, which I love to do, and see what I can expand on that into 2021. Hopefully that by, again, the second half of it or the last quarter of it even is better and on some level, that maybe I get some little taste of what I used to have. And that's going to fuel me all the way through 2022, probably, knowing the way I am. So it's such a hard thing to know because we're just kind of hoping that certain things happen. Yes, we have a vaccine. Now we're going to have a second vaccine company and probably a third one through Johnson & Johnson and all these kind of things. But, you know, they're still talking about maybe not till like summertime when a good chunk of the population would be vaccinated, those that choose to be vaccinated, and all these other kind of things come into it.
I think it's still like a long way to go. Like between the people who are gonna be vaccinated, regulations are gonna change, of course, and you name it, government regulations, government requirements for traveling, you name it.
like you're saying, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like you're saying, Mark, you're taking all these different jobs. I mean, I guess it's like a nice opportunity to learn different things too. You know, pick things that you like from these jobs that you may hate, but like you're still learning. You know.
I was going into the same point. Like, for example, me, that I am retaking something that I really went through, that I love, or I love, I don't know, 10 years ago, and I was doing it 10 years ago. But then it happened that I moved here and I started experience my artistic side that I didn't know that I had it within me, and that it happened that I love. But then I realized that I cannot live from it.
Mhm.
You know, it's really heartbreaking in a way, and I don't have a professional training like in a college from it too, so it makes things harder in a way. Like all my artistic thing or the career that I have built on it, it has been mostly from you know, like myself doing it with yeah, I have had teachers and workshops, but nothing professionally that I give like a diploma or a degree from a college. But I do have a college degree in veterinary medicine and from Mexico. So now I think like I will have to use it here. And I have done it in 10 years, and it scares me that I have to update everything and do it here. And I have to prove myself that I am worth of it. So your government can approve me of doing it. So it's another challenge. It's another different thing.
Sunny, like you're saying, like, yeah, I didn't go to college for 4 years and got my BA. So it's just like, it's difficult. It puts us at a different level than other people. And
all I know, and I learn is in Spanish in my brain. So there are certain medical terms that are not even close in English, so I have to learn and read and update myself, because obviously the medicine has changed in these 10 years that I haven't done anything related to it. And, you know, let's see how it goes. Like I said, I am not scared of it. I feel confident and capable of doing it, but I didn't think that I had to do it. And now it's something that I think I have to do it because I feel like my artistic side is probably not gonna give me enough to pay my bills, and I have to pay my bills.
Mhm. Well, no, it's very true because people are finding, and not just the people on this panel, but everyone around the world, that they've had to find a way to pivot on certain things, and maybe something they didn't want to do or didn't think they'd have to do. They're finding out,
Exactly.
yeah, the reality is like, no, I better look at this now, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it. It doesn't mean that you can't be successful in it. You just have to kind of test yourself and like, yeah, how bad do I want this, and what am I willing to put into it, and that's going to start separating, just like it does in even pre-pandemic, just kind of separates you from other people
Yeah,
that are next to you. So it's unfortunate that that people are put into these positions, but I hate to say that, but it is what it is. And so
yeah, and I don't want to go negative. I want to actually go with Christine mentioned this before, like very early in the talk. Like there are artists that do other works in order to support their hobbies or support what they love.
Mhm.
And I think that I will have to do that. Like, okay, I am good at this. I know that I am because I did it for, quite some time. I just have to update myself and apply it in a foreign country. But eventually I will probably use that again to support and come back full time to my artist side that I love it. And one thing, I didn't know that I had it until I moved here. So
yeah, well, and it's a good way to look at things because it could also be that doing this path again could be something that really works out for you in the long term. Maybe just monetarily or something else for your son. But it could also be that it's something that you now have that notch on your belt that I've now able to do these things. So if I want to do it, it could be temporary or it could be permanent. It's kind of up to you. But because that's how I kind of look at things. Like maybe there's a job that I absolutely hate, but I need to do it. So it's like, well, this is temporary. I don't have to keep doing this for 10 years. I just got to do it now.
Right.
And
I don't hate it. I don't hate being a doctor. It's hard to be a doctor. It takes a lot of you, like physical and mentally. It's a lot of responsibility. You don't have idea. You get too attached with it. But one of the things, I don't like to think negatively, and I am not negative. Or like I want to think, beyond that. And what I was going to say is like, or tell if somebody is listening, is like, don't be afraid. It's like you can do it. It's like when I arrived here, I didn't speak any English at all, and here I am. I translate movies sometimes for a living, like movies that
That's so cool.
people get in their hands.
That's
and
awesome.
they rely on the translation. And I don't know, if you ask me like 10 years ago, are you capable of translate a whole movie in English? I will say no, because I don't speak English at all. Like I understand a little bit, but I don't, I am not capable of it.
Hey, Sonny, how do you get into that?
Yeah, here I am now talking in English in this whole interview with you. So it's like, wow, I did it without even, think about it. So it is possible.
Most people in the United States are not multilingual. You're multilingual and you're a doctor, so I'm kind of super impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is
I
hard.
remember talking to people like dancers who are from Europe, and I'm like, oh, what was school like for you? They're like, oh yeah, in school we had to learn more than one language. Like it was mandatory.
Yes, it was mandatory for us, but also when you move here, you realize that the little English that they teach you in the public school, because I was in public schools in Mexico, is nearly like nothing. And not like the way that they teach you. So it really helped that I moved here and that I used to start, talking.
Yeah, you're doing really well because I like to say all the time, there's so many people in America that they're barely lingual. So, including me. So Yeah, I mean, you're doing fine. And a lot of times, so I used to work with students in
Thank
the
you.
summertime that were high school students that were usually English as a second language. And I would always tell them that the fact that you speak multi languages puts you at an advantage. Make sure that you embrace
Yeah.
that, you celebrate that, because I can barely speak English. So you're doing really well. And a lot of times they don't think about that at all. The fact that they can speak two,
Yeah.
three, four dialects. It's like, no, that's a huge plus in the job market. And particularly with Spanish. I mean, that's a
Mhm.
huge thing. So yeah, don't ever downplay that at all, ever.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, like I'm a byproduct of public schools in the U.S. and compared to people who went to private schools, I'm like, oh man, I don't know anything compared to them. Like, so
Oh,
it's
I went to public schools. It was public school. I mean, yeah.
yeah.
It was really small. I lived in a really small town, so we didn't have a lot of the extra classes or higher level stuff that they have even now. So, but you know, it's not really. I think that you just keep learning, and just because you stop going to school or you finish school doesn't mean that you're not capable of learning
Right.
more things. So, yeah, school isn't really, I don't think, a huge measure of anything.
That's
actually,
definitely
if you ask me, I have learned a lot from people that don't have any sort of degree or
Mhm,
education at all.
mhm.
For real. And I really enjoy to talk with people that don't have, like I have a label of education because I learn a lot about from them.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love talking with somebody that can bring something to the table that I just don't know much about. And it could be like, scrapbooking or something, or back riding or
Yeah,
something. I don't care about the education piece. I care about the fact that they're passionate about something and they can actually educate me and I can learn something. That's always exciting to me anytime I come across somebody. And I think some of my natural curiosity kind of actually is not to be like, pat myself on the back or anything, but I think it's shown up in a lot of times when I've done these interviews since May 22nd that I'm just naturally curious about something. So like, even like Sony, when you're talking about, being strung up upside down or whatever, I'm like, wait a minute, stop. What was that?
what happened?
I want to hear about those kind of things because it's just interesting and fascinating to me. And the more that I learn about that, the more I can understand people, I think, and different points
Uh,
of view.
Actually, that was a project, a movie from a local director, a movie maker. She's awesome. She lives, I think she lives in Whidbey Island or some place over there. Sorry if I don't remember. Her name is Juliet, and she's amazing. I mean, when I knew her, when I met her, and when I saw there was this whole crew of people involved, and all of them are from Washington or near Seattle, and all of them have made movies or short clips, videos. I was like, wow, I never imagined that Seattle had this bunch of talented people doing this kind of work. So yeah, Juliet, I don't know if she's listening or if she's gonna, watch this, but yeah, she's amazing and talented, and all her crew, like uh, Caitlin and Georgie and Ezra, like all those are artists, and the pictures and whatever is like you name it, and they are all involved in the project somehow. And it's very talented people that they live here in Washington, and I didn't even know until I got involved in that. And it was like, wow, nobody know about them, or not many people know about them, but they are hyper talented, like really Hollywood quality.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah, they just don't have probably the big production money of it. But when I saw what they are capable of, I was really impressed. And I told them, oh, wow, like I feel honored that I am working with you guys because, wow, yeah. And I think they all went to Washington University, or yeah, they went to college here in Washington, and they are doing like movies and all that. And I have another friend, Jeff and Semi. They do also movies, and they are local guys, and they have worked with like really good people and actors. It's impressive. Like you don't have idea how many talented people are living in Seattle or in Seattle area, Washington. Like,
Well, even for people, yeah, no, that's awesome. And for people that are watching this
yeah,
right now, look at the 4 people that are on this panel right now in terms of the talent that we do and what we bring to the table. I mean, Carlos has been doing dance since I think you were
yeah,
a
yeah,
teenager or something like that. I think
Yeah,
for
18. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, you could if we didn't have COVID going on, you could see him doing the Nutcracker down at in Edmonds, and then Christine's been doing this amazing photography and writing work for I don't know how many years.
yeah. Like I didn't know her until
Yeah,
like in these stable stations,
there's
kind of
there's
thing. Like
there's so
you
much talent.
gather all those people, and it's
Yeah,
amazing. Like
yeah. It's
I
taken me a
can
little.
tell like Washington is full of really talented people in one area or another, but we don't know
Right.
each other or we don't know about them. But
It's
here we
there.
are.
It's there if you put yourself out, so people can find and start
Yes.
understanding who you are and connect with you. If you kind of stay in your apartment or whatever for too long, then people don't know who you are. But if you're out there and kind of at least talking to people, you can't help but start connecting with other folks.
Yeah.
Even like in Christine's case, for her and I don't know when it was when we first talked. It's probably that Elysian beer fest thing at the Seattle Center with Thunder Pussy, like in 2017.
Yeah.
So we may have seen each other or known about each other, but it wasn't until at that point we finally say, "Hey," or whatever. And that's all it really takes, So then you see them at the next show, and you see them at the next show. Or in this case, know that I saw the Nutcracker last year and I reviewed it down in Edmonds, and that's how I got to know the Olympic Ballet Theater. Had I not done that, I wouldn't have known who they were because I reached out to them. I wanted to
Right.
know. So there's a lot of talent in this town, but you have
We
to
are
take
full
a
of
little bit.
talented people. It's like these people that I met through that independent film, Georgie and Caitlin. They are photographers, but they also model in their photography. And I saw pictures they posted on Facebook. Like they always, post random pictures of their work. And I was like, wow, I love this picture. And I told him I want a print of this picture because I genuinely love it. And I thought that it was a brilliant concept. And I told them I want a print of this picture. And they were like, really? Like, yes, I do. Like they were just sharing their work. And it's amazing. Like, probably we don't see ourselves as that talented, but we are. It's like we are just living in a place when people don't appreciate us, but that doesn't mean that we are not capable of great things.
Well, and another small thing is that even if you just follow each other, let's say through social media, and you don't have a conversation with somebody, past this fun table, you still know who Carlos, Christine, and Sony are. So, where's that person that was doing dance? Oh, that was Carlos and Sony does dance. I have this project. You might be able to remember I did this thing back with that bald guy, Mark, and we're doing this thing back in 2020. And hey, I want to connect with you because I got this idea and see if you're into it. It's that easy to do because of social media things. So that's one of the pluses for me of social media. It just kind of sits there and you can utilize it when you need to. It doesn't have to be, you have to get on the phone and have some lengthy conversation with somebody. It's like, hey, you can just, it could be that casual about something. And, that's been really awesome. And I don't know if people need to go or not. It's 10:55. We're way past what we normally do. But sometimes these things go like 3.5 hours. So I'm not trying to keep anybody. So if you need to dismiss yourself or excuse yourself, that's perfectly fine. If you want to stay and shoot the shit, that's fine because I don't have anything planned for myself. So I'm just kind of throwing it out there.
Well, I just want to throw out what I just finally realized what I'm looking forward to in 2021, and that's New Year's Eve, you and me, Mark, 2021, Showbox.
There we go. God,
I miss the Showbox too. Like, it's a big place, beautiful sound there. So
it's so weird, and we talked about this, Christine, about you're not having that Thunder Pussy gig on New Year's Eve at the Showbox for 2020. It's like, do I just play the record? What do I do? I don't know what to do with myself. But 2021. Hopefully, that's where things are back on track, and And they're such a fucking fun band, and you know that. I mean, if anyone out there hasn't seen them, and you don't have like set New Year's Eve plans next year, it's such a fun time. Just as a fan, just as anybody seeing Thunder Pussy. It makes me so want to be in that position again.
I know, it's like I don't know how long it'll take live music to come back around, but I'm really like, I feel fairly confident that by the end of next year there'll be something.
Yeah.
That's how I only worked an event there for a catering company, and I was really looking forward to see Tiger Army at like the showbox. So
Uh-huh.
it would have been so cool.
I remember
Such a beautiful venue.
It really is.
I had tickets for Napalm Death on the show.
Oh yeah.
And I was going with two of my dearest friends from Seattle.
Yeah.
And we had to cancel that one. And I was like, and I feel sad that I used to go once in a while to watch movies to those friends. And they are like way older than I am. Not saying that age is important, but I miss them, and I cannot even go near them because they are over 70 years old. They are the coolest people that I have ever met, and I love them. And they are like a couple. They are married, and the man plays in like 4 or 5 bands. So I bet that it has been hard for him that he can play. I mean, he's over 75, if I am not, like wrong. But also he loves like really cool Euro trash cinema, and I used to go over to their house and watch movies and sometimes go and listen music. And we had tickets to go to Napalm Death. And also I haven't seen them in person since March this year, and I miss them terribly. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I know we were talking about the last Fun Table session last weekend about that first show, whatever that event is, where people are back, if it's media people or if it's just fans or what have you, or in the mix of the two, that people are going to be crying or people are going to be in the fetal position or whatever it is. That
I know, it's like
very
and at the same
for
time,
people.
even though that I miss them a lot, and they are okay, they are doing okay, fortunately, and I hope they can be around for over until they are over 100 years, because they are the coolest people I ever met. And I want to go to their house and watch movies again. And I want to go with them to listen music, because they are people that, I mean, they are not your typical grandma or grandpa. Like, sorry, they are really cool. I wish they could adopt me. No, really, it's like they are really cool. And I want to be like them when I am their age, for real. Like, they are over 70 years old, and they enjoy metal shows, and they enjoy movies, and they are amazing people, and they motivate me to keep going.
Oh yes, thanks, Sony, and thanks, Tony. No, I totally understand you need to go to sleep. Thank you so much for being our holiday cheer coordinator.
Thanks, Tony.
Okay, have a very Merry Christmas over
Merry Christmas, Tony.
in Pennsylvania.
Bye, Tony. Merry Christmas. Thank you
so much for hanging in there so late over there. It's like 2:00 over there. So
wow.
But, yeah, it's wow. Do people want to hang in a little longer, or you want to call it a night, or what do you want to do here?
It's up to you guys.
I'm cool with whatever.
I think I might bug out because I want to say my husband's was doing a Warcraft raid, as he does, and I kind of want to maybe like chat with him before we turn in for the night. So
okay, no problem. I think.
All right.
Christine, thank you so much for taking the time. It was so awesome.
Oh, sure.
This, and this is good. Just having a good chat with everybody here, and
nice to meet you.
Yeah,
nice
we'll probably go a little bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, and have a happy holiday on. Have a happy holiday. A Merry Christmas.
You too.
We celebrate and
happy holidays.
Yeah, stay
Yeah.
safe up there.
All right. Nice seeing you guys. Thanks.
Happy holidays.
Thank
Christine.
you.
Nice meeting you.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
So Carlos and Sony, I'm gonna go use the restroom, then I'm gonna come right back.
Go ahead.
And
I
I'm
will.
still, and I'm still good
I
because I have no schedule, so I'm good.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
be right
I'm good
back.
too.
You guys can
Okay.
figure out something to talk about.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I have a question for you. So you mentioned that you're Mexican. So you were born in the States, but
Born
your
in the
parents are
States.
Mexican. Okay, but your parents are Mexicans.
Yeah, so my mom's Mexican and my dad's from Nicaragua.
Cool. So in your experience, because I have the same experience with my kid, like Mexican parents, but he was born here,
Hmm.
and he doesn't like to speak Spanish.
Oh,
So, about you, tell me, like, are you fluent in Spanish?
I'm fluent in Spanish. I was not
Oh,
allowed to speak English at home because
oh, wow,
because
interesting.
my grandma on my dad's side from Nicaragua, she lived with us
Oh,
growing up, and she doesn't speak English, so we were only
of
allowed to
course,
speak Spanish.
understand. Well,
So
in
I
my
mean,
case, it's like grandmas are in Mexico, so.
yeah.
But he tells me that it's really hard.
No, yeah,
Hmm.
it's difficult, but I mean, even when we were kids, we would always go. So I was raised more Mexican than Nicaraguan. So we would go to
Oh,
Mexico
really?
every year. We would spend the summer there, 3 months, and yeah. And
Interesting.
my mom was like, I would be embarrassed if you never spoke Spanish. Like if you did not speak Spanish, it would be an embarrassment for me.
I
Like,
feel the same way. I got it. I feel the same way, like taking my kid to Mexico
yeah,
and he doesn't speak Spanish. I feel embarrassed. I am like, dude,
yeah,
really? It's like I take a lot of pride for being Mexican and speak Spanish and know Spanish, and my kid doesn't want to speak it. So
yeah.
I
Uh,
feel that. So, but I am not familiar with any Nicaraguan traditions or any sort of it at all. So,
mhm.
can you tell me about it? Like, how it's like to be with uh,
It's weird because
two different people?
I
Because
feel like I grew up with two different accents. So I
oh,
went to
cool.
Nicaragua and they were like, you don't speak like a Nicaraguan. And I've been to Mexico. They're like, yeah, you sound Mexican, but there's something different.
Of
But
course.
I went to Cuba and they're like, you're Mexican, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm Mexican.
No way.
um,
In Cuba.
but I'm really grateful that I speak Spanish, and I think it really, in the end, it does make a difference when you're looking for jobs. Being fluent in a language, it helps, and I'm glad I did learn it. I mean, I studied French in school, and knowing
Wow.
Spanish to learning French, and then I also took Japanese in high school. And I'm like, oh man, Japanese was
Oh,
easy
wow.
too because the
That's hard.
vowels are
Hard.
the
Yeah.
same. You pronounce things exactly the same. So like knowing Spanish and learning Japanese, I was like, oh man, this is kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
So I'm
Awesome. I
kind of
didn't know that that was kind of easy to
I was
learn
kind
if
of
you.
glad that my parents were strict with like me knowing Spanish at home. Like my younger brother, he's slowly losing Spanish because he doesn't speak it. But
I think that's the case of my son. He doesn't like it. He tells me all the time that it's too hard for him to, learn it.
yeah,
Um, Sometimes if I speak to him in Spanish, he understands it, but he answers to me in English. So
yeah.
it's
So and like I like to
a
travel to
good thing.
Mexico. So when I go to like I'm glad I could speak the language and
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for letting me know. So
No, yeah.
I definitely want him to be more on track with the language.
Which part of
But
Mexico are you from, Sunny?
I was born and raised in Monterrey, Mexico, which is
Okay.
in the north.
Hmm.
But I also lived for a while and worked in the center near to Mexico City, and I was there for a while. So
Okay.
I
So yeah,
know. Yeah.
my mom's from Ciudad Juarez and like
Oh, okay. Yeah. I went
but
there for a short time only to get my uh, paperwork before moving here for the green card and all that.
it's too hot
That's
down
the
there. It's
only,
a
yeah,
desert.
yes. That was
Uh,
where the area, I don't know if you are familiar with it, but the area when they give you the address to to have the interviews and all that before moving to the United States and get the green card paperwork. There is nothing around. It's pretty much an industrial area with
Yeah.
nothing.
No, yeah,
There is a mall.
But it's a lot of
I don't know.
factories, yeah.
Yeah, factories and all, but there is nothing to go and walk through to
Yeah.
the forest. It's just
I think as an
really-
artist, I would love to live in Mexico City. From the two times I've been there, I'm like, Mexico City is amazing. It's
Oh,
such
it's
a big
beautiful.
city, and
Yeah,
there's
I
so
love it.
much. Yeah.
I miss the food there. Yeah, they have really cool shows, art shows, and
Yeah.
concerts going on.
And they're the food. They're like a lot of the
The food is
chefs. Like,
amazing.
yeah,
The food is out of this
the
world.
food scene
There
is
is nothing
big.
like that. Yeah, there is no other place like Mexico City, I will say.
I mean, the fact that you might get kidnapped is one thing, but like, it's a pretty cool city.
Yeah, it is. It comes with a risk, but that's why there is no place like it. We were talking about Mexico, Mark. We were talking about Mexico
Yeah.
under wonders.
So,
Sure.
So,
So, yeah.
that's a thing. Like, if they see that you are a tourist and that you are, I mean, I am gonna play this card here, but because it's sadly true. If they see that you are white and foreign, they will treat you like a king or a queen. Sadly.
yeah, I was walking. When I went there. I went to El Mercado Merced. My friend's like, you got to go there and have the.
Oh yeah, I am familiar with it.
And one of my friends was like, you went there by yourself? I was like, oh yeah.
Don't worry about it. Yeah,
He's like, yeah, people get kidnapped there, and I'm like, really? I was like, oh.
yeah, but I think you are a tourist, so I
Yeah.
don't think that it's like at that high risk, especially if you don't live there. I think it's more risk for foreigners that live there,
Yeah,
and
that's
that
the
the
thing too.
people have the opportunity to, go through your life and see where do you live and all
Yeah,
that. But if you don't live there and you are a foreign, they treat
Yeah.
you like a tourist, so you're safe.
Actually, before moving up here to Washington and dancing with Olympic Ballet Theater, I had gotten a full scholarship to study in Puebla.
Oh,
Yeah, at the university there, and I was like, you know what? I'd be too old by the time I finish the university, so I'm just gonna dance
to all like
professionally.
what? To all like what? 28?
Yeah, 28. I was like, yeah, no, my dance
That's
career would be
starting
over by
living.
then.
I am old. You are super young. I can tell. That's why I dare to get like.
I'm
too
older than
old.
both of you.
Oh yeah, we talked about this, right, Mark?
Yeah,
You'd be
we
like,
did.
you could be my father.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got 31, 39, and 50, so you're fine.
You're fine.
I'm not fine. You're fine.
But it's okay, Mark, because you look younger than.
Yeah. What's that whole thing about leave a nice looking corpse or whatever? It must be the beer, I guess. I'm pickled.
I'm a bit drunk. A little bit.
But it's like, yeah, you have good actors come from Mexico City too. And I'm just like, man, you got like Diego Luna, you have Gal Garcia, and like.
Oh yeah. I wasn't born in Mexico City. I was born in the north.
Right.
But yeah, I can tell. Like when I moved to the center, everybody could tell that I wasn't from there. Like for the accent, like
The
like,
accent.
oh,
Yeah.
you are from the north. You're always angry, and I'm like, no, I speak that way. It's when here, like when I met people that are from, for example, North Carolina, I love them. They have, if they are born there and they have living there the whole time, they have this distinctive accent, which I love. But I could tell that they are from North Carolina, from my friends that are from LA. Like they have this distinctive accent, and it's the same in Mexico. It's like if you are from the north and you're from the south, it's like you have an accent. And
Yeah.
That's the same thing in England, because I know the one guy that I interviewed was what he called a Southerner, and he
Oh,
said he was saying, I can't understand anyone in the band that's from the north. So I might as well be speaking to a penguin. So I don't. And
oh
they're
my.
speaking, yeah, and they're speaking English, and I had no idea. He's like, oh, Mark, understand that, like, if you're from the south, then a lot of the folks that you're probably familiar with, they're probably Southerners, and then the ones that are from the north, it sounds like
Wow.
a bunch of gibberish to even to me, being an Englishman. And I'm like, oh, okay. I had no.
Okay.
That's one of those things that I love learning about. I have no idea. I've never been there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would love to that too, because a British English, they have certain adjectives that are totally different than the ones that they use here in America. Like totally different.
Yeah, that was fascinating to me.
Yeah, European English is totally different than American English. And it's the same with Spanish. Like if you go to Mexico and then you go to Spain or any other country in South America, it's a different language. It's like we have our slangs that get really stick to it, and we make them ours. So if you go to Argentina or Peru or you name it, and you say one word,
Yeah.
it will, mean a totally different thing.
Yeah, when I was in Cuba, it took me, I think, a week to be able to
Really?
understand their
Yeah.
Spanish because it just sounded mumbled. Like they drop a lot of the vowels, and you're like,
Yeah,
what did you
yeah.
say? And like
That and the slangs.
the slang, yeah.
Different. Yeah, totally different.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is.
But it's like even like in the States too, like someone from like what, North Dakota, their accent's so different than from someone.
It is. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like from my
Like-
friends from North Carolina, my friends from LA, they speak totally different.
But I mean, I love accents. I love listening to
I
different. I think
do.
it's so cool. Like the first time I went
I
to
do
New
too.
York, and I actually heard a New York accent or a Boston accent, I was like, man, this is so cool.
Well, I know sometimes when I've done these interviews, and actually Tony was one of the people. I did an interview with a guest that was from New Zealand. And I remember he put in the chat, I love her accent. I said, yeah, and I'm fascinated by the same thing. It's just like it's just hearing something different like that. It's so cool.
Yeah,
and,
it
then,
is cool.
and also hearing like from you guys, hearing the culture part of it too is really fascinating. Depending on where you're
Yeah.
from, and even like in that same example of from being from New Zealand, they had basically conquered COVID. They were doing everything back to normal. So I'm like, tell me more because
What are you doing?
yeah, we're in lockdown here, and you guys are footloose and fancy free kind of thing. And it was just fascinating to hear how their country approached it versus what we were doing. And that they already had an app many, many months ago to be able to track who has it, who doesn't, where you're at, all these kind of things. And that there wasn't, I think the biggest takeaway I got was that there wasn't a pushback from the majority of the people. They bought into whatever was going to make things work. And here, obviously, we have a lot of divides, so it's a much bigger country too. So I think, I guess that's one of the pieces of having a smaller country, is that maybe people kind of get on board with it, versus here, there's too much room for divisiveness to happen.
Yeah, it's such a big country, like when you look at it.
Yeah, we're basically Europe, and we just don't call them countries; we call them states.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. Because I mean, if Texas is its own country, the Bible Belt is its own country. The Eastern Seaboard, and the Midwest, and obviously here in the North, all of that stuff. We're all very different, but we have similarities too. But yeah, it's not like being in the same place at all.
Yeah, it's like I remember like even going through Europe, like you could just take a train that would take an hour and you're in a different country. Like if you're driving from California, from like LA to Washington, that's like 8 hours. Oh no, not 8 hours.
I
That's more than 8
know,
hours.
it's
That's like
crazy.
13 hours,
Yeah.
14 hours. And you're
And
still in
also-
California.
And the plane is expensive too. So if you take a plane through there, it's so expensive. And if you go to Europe and take a train, it's not that expensive. Well, I know.
Yeah, I'm trying to get, so like Sony was a part of my, I just thought about this. Carlos, you and I have not done a one-on-one interview, like a formal interview. I did it with, good grief, I need to fix that. with Sony, we did this.
Great to know with Carlos. Yeah.
Yeah, Sony, we finally did a one-on-one as part of the We Are All Creative series. And so I've got a friend that, gosh, I've known her since like 2000 that lives in the Netherlands. We've never actually
Oh,
talked.
wow.
We've never talked. So I just
Oh, really?
I pitched it to her today about, can we do something like this, a one-on-one interview, so I can kind of talk to you about everything over there in the Netherlands and her life and art and all that kind of thing. But at the same token, yeah, oh my God, Christine did a written interview for me before I got invited to the Alice tour, so everything kind of got jumbled up. So I've not done a video interview with her either. Now that I think about it. So both of you, I need to figure things out, because I would love to actually spend time just strictly talking to you in an interview format and asking you. Obviously, I know a lot now, but there's also going to be more things I would love to know and try to work out, especially if you end up having time in your schedule. So I'll talk to you offline about trying to work that out.
Of course.
So let me ask the two of you, since we're into the I don't know, what's 11:17 on a Saturday night during the pandemic. And it doesn't have to be both. It doesn't have to be both of you. But I'm just throwing. So if I was to do the same type of thing next Saturday, like I was saying, kind of like the good riddance to 2020 kind of concept, would you be into that kind of thing?
What day is it? 22nd?
No, meaning the end of 2020, even though it's not, because it's the
the end of 2020.
The concept that we would still do the exact same thing, but maybe I don't know, maybe you drink a little bit more than you normally would. I don't know. I've already had 4 beers.
I am up to it. It will be the 31st of December? Or what?
No.
Tell me the date.
I'm just thinking, a week from today, the 26th. I would just call it that concept.
26.
Yeah.
I'm up to it. I mean,
I'm up to it. I got a whole arsenal back here. So it's like.
And then let me ask you this too, Carlos. Do you know, would Rowan be up for it too?
Hey, Rowan, would you be up to doing like a video next week with Mark, next Saturday?
And she can think about it too. That's fine. But
she said she's probably down.
It,
okay. I'm thinking.
Will be to it.
I'm thinking it would be kind of fun just to kind of, not that we're not letting loose now, but like if people really want to let loose, they can, because it'd be like, that would be the last fun table for 2020.
That would be cool.
And if you want to, you can. If you don't, I don't like ever pressuring somebody, but like in my case, I might be like, I
am
I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna.
I will be here around here, so there is nothing else.
I'll break into
I don't have anything else to do that day.
Okay.
So yeah, it will be cool. Why not?
I'll break into my beer cellar and pull out some of the good stuff, kind of a thing.
I will try to get my Mexican holiday beer for that day.
Yeah. Drink tequila.
I have tequilas here, so yeah.
So my dad got me this.
If I finish the beers, I will go with tequila. Oh my god, good.
This is so smooth.
Oh, I don't know that one. I haven't ever tried that one. Don Imperio.
Yeah.
Don.
Like I've never had it before, but my dad got it for me.
Oh, good. Those are the
like,
ones that other people get for you, right?
It was like I was not expecting it to be as smooth as it is. Like,
nice. I'm thinking back to, I don't know what year this was, but I had some people over here that had modeled for me at some point. Being a model photographer, and I had those little airline bottles of booze, and I just remember. The one gal, because I wasn't gonna. I said, you can help yourself to something if you want to drink that. I think we're having pizza or something, whatever we were doing. And she must have grabbed like half of them, and I'm like, well, no, I mean you can drink it here, not stick it in your pockets and walk out the door with it. And it's okay if you want to take one with you, but it's like, no, it's like if you want to have a drink, or if you want to have pop or water or whatever your deal is. But yeah, I remember she grabbed a bunch of them and started sticking them in her pockets. I'm like, no. Either you're drinking that, through down your gullet, or you can have one for the road, but not 10 of them in your pockets, kind of a thing. Oh boy, hey Ramsey, how are you? If I can't hear me. Oh, it looks like you're muted.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. What are you doing up so late?
Waiting for his mom.
I was drawing.
He was drawing.
Drawing, okay. What do you like to draw?
I like to draw like things from games. Sometimes things that I like to draw, like a lot of things, like things from YouTube videos that I'm interested in. I even made like a little drawing of like maybe how the Earth could end, like the sun exploded.
Oh, okay.
He made me some Friday 13 drawings. Really cool.
Oh, nice. So,
And it was a Friday the 13th.
Like a Jason with, like a different Jason.
So it had the side. I drew the sack one, the one with the sack.
yeah, for number 2, yeah.
Yes.
The original one,
Mhm.
and then I think the part 5.
Yeah, you draw the part 5 with
Yeah,
Jason.
It's
yeah.
the one with like the broken parts, and then you can see like part of the jaw.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
He drew Cthulhu for me too.
Okay.
He's waiting his mom to go to bed with. He goes to sleep with his
I
mom.
think drawing is one of the
Only
skills.
the why we can have him 1 hour if you want, or if not, I can just send him to bed, set him away. He's a good kid. He waits for me on the side.
That's good.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think drawing is one of the skills I wish I knew how to do.
Oh, I can do it good. Like, I am impressed with his drawings. Like, oh, they are really cool.
Here's one that I made.
Oh, you already showed them what you made?
It's like half a robot. Like the other one is like a normal, and then like the other half is like a robot with like a laser eye.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Like little astronauts, but there's like a home. Like one part is like a normal helmet, and then the other part is like supposed to be an area for like a laser to shoot out.
But it's like a fedora hat.
Something. I think it's a little more bigger than this.
Okay.
But like, I think it's probably this size, and then I think it stops like here,
Okay.
there, like very. And it has like a little mustache, like that's orange.
Cool. I'm jealous of your hair. I used to have long hair when I was in high school. If you can believe that, it was really, really long. And
Yeah,
now I don't have any hair.
Yeah, he's drawing over there.
I'm gonna try to
Draw something else? Okay.
No, I'm just gonna do like the same thing, but I'm gonna try to make it like with the laser shooting.
Okay, I need to turn on the earbuds.
Oh, okay.
The earphones.
Always a mom. You can never turn that off. You always,
Exactly, right?
yeah. If you're a good parent, you're always a parent all the time, 24/7.
I am. So yeah, he can go to sleep without me. Like he's always waiting for me. Sometimes he does, but most of the time he's, especially from the since the pandemic start, is like he's always like waiting for his mom to go to sleep with him. Yeah.
Well, and plus he's on winter break as well. Right? So,
Yes, he used to start this week the winter break. So.
Yep. So he has no concept of time whatsoever. I used to call that Nightman mode. I used to love it when I knew that when we're on breaks. Like, I'm going into Nightman mode now. I don't care.
I know. You're gonna name it like that, Ramses?
Although it's funny how we would long for that winter break, and then you get bored, and you're like, man, I kind of wish I was back in school with my friends. And
Not me. I do know what you're saying though, because there's definitely I had friends that were like, calling or bugging you, kind of, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because they were getting bored with things. I've been really fortunate that for whatever reason it's very rare when I get bored, even now, I can't relate to it too much, but that's just because I'm not, if I got a weird ass brain, I'm just always thinking about shit. So,
I think also we have so much access to a lot of things now. Like if we're bored, we're like, okay, Netflix, or we got all these outlets.
yeah, that's true.
Like,
Very
for
true.
example, I remember that back in the day, I used to be like a huge fan of this TV show Law and Order SVU,
Mm.
and I was like just there waiting in Mexico that they release a new episode. Like, you are lucky you had it here, like, I don't know, once a week, one episode. In Mexico, it was probably a month after. So I was there waiting for the new episode of Law and Order. And now it's like, oh, I have them all the seasons here in Hulu, and I can watch it whenever I want. But it's just not like that. Like, I remember when I couldn't have it, and now it's like, oh, I have it every time, and I watch it, like once in a while. Actually, that TV show helped me to learn English because I used to play the subtitles when I was watching the show in Mexico. So I always named that TV show. But it's so funny because I was always waiting for the new episode to come out, and it's ridiculous if you have pretty much daily or once a week to have a new episode of
Yeah.
the show.
No, I can relate to that about watching shows, and I'm not a big Netflix person myself right now, so I'm like
Me
archaic.
neither.
I'm archaic
Yeah.
in that sense, but I remember back in the days, like, yeah, if it was on Tuesdays at 9 or whatever your show was, you couldn't wait for the next week to see something, and now you can, like, see an entire season of something as soon as they release it, and so it's very, very different. Then you just binge that thing, like, I'm done with The Mandalorian, I'm done with whatever, and it's in some ways it's nice because then you have the option, if you want to sit there for the entire time or you just want to watch one here and there. But back in the day, you were forced to. You had to wait. You had no choice.
Yeah, exactly. Same for me. Like, I haven't engaged on any new TV shows at all. I think the last TV show that I watched was Breaking Bad, and it wasn't on time. Like, I catch it on Netflix, and I really got into it, and I finished it.
Yeah, like I just finished watching Supernatural, and I've been watching that since I was in middle school.
Oh, cool. I
Like,
watched the show back in the day, but then I don't know, lost interest on it. And then I watched Better Call Saul, but I watched them on Netflix too. Like, it wasn't like have the anxiety of waiting for the new episode, like they were already there. So it makes a huge difference to have them there than to be in your home waiting every week.
every week, like The Walking Dead, I was like, oh, what's gonna happen next week? What's gonna happen next week?
Like, just being there with the ancients, it's not the same. Well,
It's so interesting how much I used to love The Walking Dead, the early seasons, and then how I kind of eventually kind of grew out of it because I was losing interest in what they were doing. But that's something, it's like an emotional blow depending on what happened in the episode on a Sunday. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. It would just like drain me into Monday.
I know. I stopped watching it a long time ago because I got bored. But the first 3 seasons were really cool. Like, I was like, oh my God, they are so cool. I think I watched 5 seasons of The Walking Dead. I don't even remember. And then I couldn't, like, get it anymore. I was like, I'm done with this thing.
Yeah, it's weird because I read the comics before like the shows came out, and then like as soon as I moved to Edmonds, like they would be showing the new episodes every Sunday at the movie theater at the.
Oh yeah.
So I would go there every Sunday when I had movie because I had no TV, and I'm like, it's a cool way to keep like up with the show and like do something in the community,
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
I know right now they're selling popcorn on the weekends at that theater. Yeah, that's the carnival.
Oh, good. I didn't know that Edmonds had that kind of thing. And I live kind of close from Edmonds, and I love Edmonds. Edmonds downtown is really beautiful. Actually, Edmonds is really beautiful. Well, I didn't know they had that kind of thing. And about The Walking Dead, it's like I stopped watching it a few years ago. But it was good. I think it paced tribute to big directors that made a big change into zombie horror movies, gory movies, and that's what I like in that show.
Yeah.
They obviously have a bigger budget than those directors are based from, but it got to a point that for me it bored me. But the first 3 seasons are beautiful.
That's the thing. I think it became too repetitive, and you just knew what was
Yeah,
going to happen.
yeah.
Mm.
I like it. I like the drama that they put on it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love the zombies and the effects and tribute they pay to the classic, especially to George Romero. That it's probably one of the most influences that show has.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead and like
Yes, Night
Dawn
of
of
the
the
Living
Dead.
Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. But it got to a point that I just couldn't watch it anymore. But the first 3 seasons are really good. They're really beautiful, and yeah, I appreciate the work that they put on it. And the actors, the writing, everything. It's really beautiful. It's good. But yeah, I got to a point that you need more than that to engage me.
I just remember I was at a convention that I was covering for Eclectic Arts, and so this was right when the second season started of Walking Dead. So it wasn't huge.
Oh, wow, it wasn't the huge.
Yeah, it wasn't huge yet, but Norman Reedus was there. And
oh my God, I never met him. I want.
They were supposed to have John Bernthal, but he got called back for reshoots. So they had
oh wow,
the gal from the first season that played the half zombie that was the bicycle girl is what they called her. She was like in the park. So the actress that played her filled in for John. But I still remember I was in the bathroom and this little kid, he must have been, I don't know, like 10 years old. And I was not watching. I did not see the first season. So I was brand new to all this kind of stuff. I just knew there was a buzz about the show. And this little kid said, "What did you think about when so-and-so did this in the first episode?" I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, I haven't seen this. You just spoiled whatever the show is for him. And he's like, "Oh, I thought everybody here had seen it." I was like, some of us haven't seen anything yet. That's why we're here. But man, the line for him and the crowd for Norman was tremendous. And again, it wasn't huge yet. Obviously, it started to break into the second and third seasons where it just became ridiculous. But he was super cool, totally laid back and loved telling stories. And I remember he put something on his Twitter of all of us saying "fap fap fap" during his panel. And so this was like 2011? Yeah, fall of 2011.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was that long ago. So that's what actually got me into the show.
It's crazy too, though, because I think like even though John Bernthal didn't have like that much of exposure in the show, he became big after that show. Like he started getting all these roles, and
I think pretty much
like him as an actor.
The people involved there got big, and good for them. It's I'm really happy. Like a horror show had that impact, and that people can appreciate the graphic, because that show is graphic. Like really really graphic.
Did you watch The Punisher?
I the TV show. No, I watched the movies. 2 of the movies, The Punisher.
So John, him as the Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I didn't watch the TV show of The Punisher. Either way, it's like you as a horror fan that likes graphic things, seeing all this huge amount of people approve that madness. It's like, oh, cool. It's more acceptable now. Like, people, I am not seeing me as a weirdo anymore, because they really like The Walking Dead. That is a really graphic show, in my opinion. It's really graphic. And I think that's part of the success of that show, that they are really graphic on it. And okay.
Oh, okay.
The laser beam.
Yeah.
Laser beam?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or laser.
Laser beam? Okay.
Or laser.
Okay. She says that it's a laser beam. So that's one of the things that I was thinking. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
Like, oh, okay, like you are a horror fan, and then suddenly you have this huge amount of people following a show that is way too graphic, even for those movies that you were watching in the, I don't know, early 80s or mid 80s.
You have a point. It definitely brought some horror elements to the mainstream.
Yeah,
That
indeed.
people that normally wouldn't watch horror stuff were watching that show because at its peak,
Exactly.
it was huge.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. That it was it meant to be like, and that's what I like, that they paid tribute to um really the origins of the zombie genre. You know.
Yeah, when you have Greg Nicotero working on Walking Dead, who was a part of a lot of the Romero stuff, so
And
he's
I am so happy that he made it that big. It's
mhm.
he totally deserved it, and he made it good, and I'm so happy for him. I haven't met him, but yeah, he's a genius, and he totally deserves the success that he has now.
Tony,
through
I have a totally separate question that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But
Go ahead.
on your social media, who takes the pictures of you? Because you're reporting some from like last year and 2 years ago, like in outfits outside. I assume your home. Is that your son taking those, or who's taking those pictures? I'm just curious.
No, I managed to place the phone in a strategic pose.
Oh, so you're
So,
doing.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Because
Most of the time.
you're always like a full body kind of pose with whatever outfit you're on.
Some of them I ask either friends that are nearby to take the
Oh,
pictures.
okay.
Ramsey, I asked Ramses once, but I didn't like how they went through. So either I use Stan or yeah,
Tripod or something.
a tripod, or either our selfies, or I ask an adult to take them if that is the case, that I have an adult nearby.
Okay. I kept thinking maybe it was him, it was your son taking those pictures. I'm
Oh
like,
no.
those. Okay.
Francis is a hyperactive kid, so as you can tell.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a perfect time to kind of we'll call it a night. It's been what
I agree.
3 hours and 37 minutes. I'm sure Ramsey was getting ready to have mom put him to bed or what have you.
Ronnie, I mean, yeah, he will not stop until I go to bed. So.
Yeah, well, Carlos and Sony, thanks for joining me, and yeah, I'll reach out to you both offline about next Saturday and see if we can make this happen. It kind of makes sense now that I don't have a schedule to keep like I would have, with my other jobs. So, and kind of see if it's going to work out, and probably invite some other people too, and maybe just kind of have a whole jamboree of folks, just to kind of have fun with.
Sounds good.
Cool. Well, have a great night. Have a Merry Christmas next Friday. And yeah, you'll be hearing from me in the next day or two. Bye, Ramses. You too. Oh,
okay.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Happy holidays. Take care.